gambler.
What's the line in tonight's game? Rams and Niners?
Roki Sasaki sets and fires. Soft liner to short. Betts is there. That's a win for LA. The Dodgers are going to the National League Division Series. The Dodgers are going to Philadelphia as they move on in their quest to run it back in 2025.
Oh, let's go. We now know who the Philadelphia Phillies will be facing off against, as if we didn't know heading into postseason play, that the big bad LA Dodgers would be representing in the NLDS, opposing the Philadelphia Phillies, who, oh, by the way, have the best odds to win the World Series, Sam OSHTRY.
Not anymore.
Who have been the best team for my money in the month of September and I guess August as well. But now all of a sudden, you're telling me that the big bad LA Dodgers, who don't have home field in this series versus the Phillies, are supposed to get it done? Not buying it, Sam. Not buying it at all. Bring on the Dodgers. Game one. Shohei Ohtani, who's been pitching really well. He has been pitching really well, especially his last four starts. Take a look at those numbers. My goodness, 27 strikeouts, 1 run, 4 walks. Yeah, he's been electric. Putting that to the side, I like the Phillies. And I like the fact that you have people out there doubting them, saying that the Dodgers are the play here. I love it. Let's go.
And part of it's because of what they showed against the Reds. Let's not forget.
The big bad Reds. Yeah.
Reds, an 83-win team, I believe, since the wild card era began. The second fewest wins to get into the wild card spot on all 4 Reds teams. So I don't care what the Dodgers did to the Reds. This is the World Series in the divisional round.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening this weekend, starting at Citizens Bank Park. One of these 2 teams is going to win the World Series, and that they have to play each other in the divisional round based on how it all went down. AL, there's no team in the AL I'm worried about. The other side of the NL, not worried about. This is going to be the series of the year between 2 great teams, the defending champs, the team that was favored all year coming in, and then somehow the Dodgers left them now because of what they showed against the Reds. This is going to be the best series of the year.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate for some out there. I am not in that category. I am more so on the side of bring on the best.
Oh, who cares if we play them in the NLCS or DS? You got to anything short than a World Series this year is a disappointment for the Phillies.
No doubt.
So what does it matter when you play the Dodgers? Well, you disagree?
Well, I think there is some argument. There's room for argument on the other side, right?
Why?
Because I don't know. Again, you have to be who's in front of you. So, like,
just because if the Dodgers lose in the NLDS, you might not have to face them, and you have an easier path to the World Series.
There you go.
That's the only reason.
Ding, ding. I didn't even think about that, Sam. But yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
the Phillies have been on this journey. This is their 4th year now entering the postseason of postseason baseball for this team. You got to beat the best to be the best.
Yeah,
and I want to see the Phillies actually go through the toughest path possible to eventually win a World Series that they feel like they've been knocking on the door at. And of course, the Dodgers won it last year. The Dodgers with just an absurd payroll, the favorites coming into this year. You got to see the Phillies beat them. So I don't care when we play the Dodgers. We're going to play them eventually at some point. We've known that for months now. And I don't care when it is. Bring it on in the NLDS.
Bring it on. in the NLDS. No, you're right. I think you just nailed it there with that point as far as, hey, look, they could have slipped up versus the other team and fell short of the NLCS. That's always a possibility. But I do believe that there is definitely some sort of possibility of a letdown. Like you get so amped up and you give everything you got to go up against this team. It's postseason baseball, though. So as I'm saying it, I'm like, I'm not really buying it. But I think there has to be, even removing what you just said, because I think that needs to be number one by itself, number one answer on the board. I do think there could be room for the argument on the other side. Like, you know what? If you're going to face them, it's better to do so in the NLCS than in the NLD.
I mean, nothing's guaranteed in postseason baseball.
Correct.
We saw the Phillies in 2023. Once they got by the Braves and were in the NLCS against the Diamondbacks, we thought that series, no chance the Phillies could lose that. They, of course, they're up 3-2.
Yeah.
Coming back home with 2 home games, no chance the Phillies are losing this series. They're a walk-in to the World Series. And, of course, Diamondbacks, who are a worse club at the time than them, come back and win that series and win the NL pennant. So anything can happen in postseason baseball. It's not like just because the Phillies beat the Dodgers, they're guaranteed to anything in this sport, but you got to feel really good if they can get past the Dodgers.
What about 5 versus 7 as far as 7-game series? Do you think that plays into it at all? Do you think that there's an advantage in that game?
I like the home format better for 5 games. When you have it's 2-2-1.
Correct.
So you can have those first 2 games at home. And then if you have to come back for a game 5, you have that game 5 at home and you have extra travel days of rest in between there. So I like that format. The only negative that I really see in playing this team in the NLDS is I don't like the rest that the Phillies have had the last week. And we've seen time and time again, teams that get that bye.
Look pretty good yesterday.
What, in a scrimmage, inter-squad scrimmage? Powder Blues get the dub. But again, it doesn't we've seen teams who are those top 2 seeds falter in the NLD or in the divisional round because they don't play baseball for a week. And those other teams in the wild card, like the Dodgers, just had 2 games where I don't call them get right games, but 2 games where they dominated and they feel pretty good, feeling pretty confident coming in to Citizens Bank Park. Even when the Phillies made those runs as a wild card team, they upset teams in the divisional round, and you could say an argument was because they had those wild card series, and those games and those series give you confidence. So I don't love how that they don't play baseball for a week and then they have to play. Well, the Dodgers just had 2 games last 2 days.
Yep.
But it's the nature of the sport. It's the nature of the playoff bracket. So you got to just figure out a way to get not be rusty and get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Game 1. Hey, look, we're going to do a deep dive on all things Phillies and Dodgers when Luke ARCAINI joins the program coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We will talk all things Shohei Ohtani, who's been electric. The possibility that he could be on an innings count, pitch count. I don't think that will be the case. However, they are handling him a little bit differently, as they should. And he has just been incredible these last 4 starts. So we'll get into a little bit of that conversation. Also talking about the importance of the home field advantage. All right. There are very few places that I would sit here and pound my chest over being a difference. Philadelphia, no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's a different setting. And for my money right now, number 1 at the top of that list, Citizens Bank Park. Again, Arizona Diamondbacks came in and won. I'm with you.
And the Mets did the same thing last year.
I'm with you.
It doesn't really matter anymore.
No,
Let's just call it what it is. It doesn't matter anymore. It's awesome being there. It's electric as a fan. It doesn't matter for the opposing team. The Diamondbacks did it, and the Mets did it last year. Let's just be honest. Home field and having home field advantage isn't as important as everyone likes to make it be. That's what the numbers say.
We can make a difference. Don't listen to Sam OSHTRY. We can make a difference.
It'll be awesome. It'll be electric. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really going to have that much of a factor on the game.
Well, unfortunately, you have history on your side for that argument, so I'm not going to waste much time on that. All right, let's do this, though. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh, what's that music?
We're back.
What's that music?
We're back.
Oh, we got playoff baseball. 3 elimination games for the first time happening on one day in postseason history. It's never happened before. We're going to put that to the side. We got Thursday night football. Good NFC West battle between the Rams and the beat-up 49. No, we're going to put that to the side. College football. Miami, Florida State, putting that to the side. Eagles and no! Let's talk Sixers and Knicks from Abu Dhabi, Sam OSHTRY. Just keep them out there. Honestly, just keep that franchise out there. Has Josh Harris answered the Epstein call yet?
Not that I've heard. Alleged.
All right.
Don't want to get.
I'm saying, but it was out there on the timeline.
It was.
All right?
I don't know. I haven't.
That's why you need to step to a microphone and you say, "There's a wrong Josh Harris altogether." Right.
I mean, would it shock anybody? I think his probably best PR strategy is just to kind of let it simmer and hope that the real stuff doesn't come out, and then it won't, and then people will just forget about it.
That's the strategy for this country as a whole right now. That's handling.
People have short-term memories.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right. Anyways, though, can you give us an update? Give us 30.
Yeah, the Sixers lost their season opening preseason game to the Knicks in Abu Dhabi, 99-84. Of course, Paul George and Joel Embiid didn't play. Those guys are both dealing with an injury. Quentin Grimes, because of the contract situation, even though it got resolved yesterday, he didn't travel with the team to Abu Dhabi, so he wasn't there. So it was a lot of backups playing a ton of minutes, and of course, it's preseason basketball anyway. Yeah. But the Knicks shot 3 of 35 from 3. That's 8%. They were out-rebounded 58-46.
Wait. It's a timeout. 20-second.
3 of 35 from 3.
Sixers shot 35 three-pointers.
Correct.
And made 3.
Correct. That's 8%. Oh my God. For those who don't want to do the math at home. Courtesy our good friend Sean Bernard. VG Edgecombe played pretty well, though.
Okay.
He looked really good and burst. His 3-ball looked honestly better, and he looked more comfortable shooting it, which was a question mark coming out of the draft. He looked pretty good, and that's probably the only positive you can take away. But again, it's preseason basketball. We're not going to make too much of a deal about it. But they'll be back on Saturday in Abu Dhabi at 11 a.m.
Could you give me the cliff 8.613? Could you give me the cliff notes on Quentin Grimes?
Yeah, so he's going to be here this season on a qualifying offer. He had to opt in, or they came to a deal for that $8.6 million qualifying offer, but he also has a no trade clause there. So now the Sixers can't trade him as an asset, and they were really far apart on those negotiations where he believed he was worth somewhere between 25 to 30 million a year and wanted a long-term deal, while the Sixers were offering him a 4-year deal worth around 10 million. So they were really far apart on those negotiations. So there was really nothing that was going to happen this close to the season other than him accepting the qualifying offer. The Sixers wanted the no trade clause waived because they could use him as an asset, but he's obviously can't be traded this season because he has that in his contract. So that's a tough situation for the Sixers, who they're probably going to lose him anyway after next free agency when he's going to command a bigger deal. But it's also tough for him because he's now in a backcourt with Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. When Jared McCain comes back, he's not going to have the dominant performances that he had late in last season where he believed that he really increased his value. So it's a really tricky situation for the Sixers and him. Worst case scenario for all involved. When you're this close to the season, it was really the only reasonable resolution. So it's tough. We'll see how it plays out, but he probably won't be a Sixer next year.
So literally there are, I think, 2 players in the NBA that have no trade clauses. Quentin Grimes and LeBron James.
Bradley Beal doesn't have one anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, because he
the only if that is correct, that's hysterical. Put that on a t-shirt, Quentin Grimes. There's only 2 players in the NBA currently that have no trade clauses: LeBron James and Quentin bleeping Grimes.
And Damian Lillard.
Dame, because Dame went back to Portland. That's pretty funny. All right, so they add the 3. All right, there you go, Quentin Grimes. Nice work. Is his agent playing this right? Do you think he's going to end up fetching some good money next year? Do you think this raises his level of play that we should start looking at Quentin Grimes in a different light?
The problem is what I just explained is that he's not going to have the opportunities with all that crowd, with the crowd in the backcourt. He's not going to play himself into a $25 million a year player. There's just no opportunity for that. He could have a really good season and increase his value for sure, but I don't think I don't know why and what world he believed he was worth $25 to $30 million, because there's not a lot of teams with cap space. And so that's not going to be, there was nothing happening for him this summer. Next summer, there's going to be more teams with cap space, but are they really going to want to spend 20 to 25 million on Quentin Grimes? We'll see what he does this year. I don't think it's going to pay off for him at all. The bet that he's making on himself, large part because of the situation he's playing in with the Sixers this year.
All right, Major League Baseball off and running here. Game 1, getting the party started between the Guardians and the Tigers. We had a show wager. You rode with me on that? We took the Tigers to win this game.
Let me live it. I completely forgot.
You can get it live action at +1. It's the same number. Same number. Here we are. They got runners on first base. Here's where I was at when it comes to two things with this series. As I said, postseason baseball, first time in Major League Baseball history, we have 3 elimination games going down today. That's pretty cool. Nice work by the powers that be. I want to say this much, though. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with the timing of this series. And now I understand. Like, let me just put this out there point blank. Money controls all. Yankees and Red Sox understood. But how unfair is it to the city of Cleveland, to the fans of the Guardians, that you play 3 straight day playoff games? Like, right? That's number one. Oh, by the way,
Phillies got more of a crowd at their intra-squad scrimmage than the Guardians got at their actual.
This is packed.
Not based on the attendance numbers. It was like 29,000. The Phillies got 30,000 sellout.
All right. Well, the game 3 here is packed.
Okay.
Right,
that was game 1 and 2, I guess.
And I'm not trying to flex here, but Cleveland, come on. Cleveland comes off blue collar. You think those guys can take off time from their job in Cleveland? Not like, I don't know. Maybe I'm out of I've
never been to Cleveland.
Everybody's got money, right? There's people that have plenty of money up in Scranton, but blow your mind, right? I always thought everybody's poor up in Scranton where I come from. Not the case. A lot of people have money. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have money in Cleveland. My bigger point is this. They won the division. The Yankees did not win the division. The Red Sox did not win the division. How are you telling me that the wild card matchup takes precedent?
Well, it's a business.
You can't throw one game
it's a business. They should just overlap the games, right? Like you can have a game start at 7 and one also start at 8.
Fair.
And just overlap the games. That's what I would do. But if you're going to decide what's going to take the night game or the day game between the Guardians and the Tigers or the Red Sox and the Yankees, you're going Red Sox, the Yankees every single time. I don't care who won what.
All right.
We're talking, it's a business.
You can't flip it one time, though. No. You can't throw me a bone one time.
I've been locked on Red Sox, Yankees, and I don't watch a lot of baseball other than the Phillies, but I've been locked on Red Sox, Yankees. That series has been everything from a drama perspective and the rivalry aspect of it. It's been awesome. So that game's always staying at night. There's no chance.
I know
you're flipping.
I know. I get it. Money controls all. I understand it, but I just think it's a little bit unfair. That's all. And you know what? At the end of the day, I think it would be pretty cool to see the Sox and Yankees in a day game. I think the same amount of people to a point would be tuning in. Yankees and the Sox in a day game. Just throw them a bone one time. They won the division. Regardless, moving on.
Life's not fair.
Yeah, we are. You're telling me. We are moving on. We are on the Tigers as a show here. As far as the other 2 games, Padres and Cubs, and the Sox and Yankees, just to let you know, we're going head to head on that one. I have the Yankees. Yankees are my World Series. I got the Phillies and Yankees in the World Series.
Like pre-playoffs or preseason?
Oh, pre-playoffs. I took the heads-up matchup. And if you would have asked me,
that was the favorite, right?
No, it wasn't the favorite. It was who is it? The Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays
are favored ahead of the Yankees.
Exactly. So I am looking. I was very lucky that they ended up winning that game. But when we were talking about game 1 between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and Garrett Crochet was on the mound, and he's magnificent. He could very well win the Cy Young. He's not going to. Scuba's going to get it, but Crochet's numbers are incredible. When Jazz Chisholm wasn't in the lineup, I squirmed. And I'm not one of these guys, Sam, that like takes the microphone and says like, the manager's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't do that. That's not what I do. I like to keep it moving, have fun. That's the decision in front of you. I would have went a different way. And I'm not trying to make Jazz Chisholm into Chase Utley. But what he is a spark plug. And what he can bring to the table is exactly what happened last night, where he was 0 for 3. And then he gets on base, and then he makes that happen. And you just don't know with that guy in the lineup what he's capable of. Pretty good glove, made a great play up the middle. Like, I hated that call that he was not in the game 1 lineup to start versus the Red Sox. Like, Jazz Chisholm is made for this moment, made for the playoffs. Give him the opportunity. Lefty, righty, I don't care. Guys like that need the opportunity and just stay out of the way. I thought Boone made a terrible decision on that.
I'm with you. And then if you saw how bad that decision was based on yesterday's result, and like you said, he was a spark plug. Let me ask you a question. How would you handle your frustrations between these 3 scenarios?
Okay.
Post game, you're pissed you weren't in the lineup. You turn your back to reporters and you don't answer questions.
Yep.
You're pissed you don't start as a quarterback. You go the meme approach and you just don't speak at your press conference and then you just mouth words.
Yep.
Or number 3, you're pissed you're not touching the ball enough, even though your team is 4-0, and you post about how you're just going to shrug your shoulders and you want out of here on social media. If you're frustrated as an athlete, how are you handling those 3 scenarios?
I'm not doing what AJ did. Wide receivers are crazy. They're out of their minds.
Not all of them. Devontae Smith's not a diva.
You're right. You're right. Devontae is not a diva, but majority of them are just nuts.
Yeah.
They're just
all
all
the ball. I can't
crazy.
blame them. It's just
look. AJ deserves a lot of credit for what he did yesterday. And I'm not going to play the sound bites. If you didn't hear him, go listen to the whole thing. He squared up, he owned it, and he said he was wrong. Point blank, end the story. And that's all right. We make mistakes, especially in the world of what he is and what he's capable of and what he did on the field that day. So I get his frustrations. I'm there. But I was so upset at the fact that, like, he's been here for such a long time now, multiple Super Bowl runs, 1 championship. And like what we're really after, like we're not, we're not the Baltimore Ravens, like who hope to be there.
Yeah,
it has changed. We expect to be there.
Where was the book Inner Excellence after the game yesterday?
Right,
that was one of the biggest lies that everyone just like believed and ran with those stories ever told, that AJ Brown just reads Inner Excellence at every single game on the sideline. That's what he said, and that's what everyone like ran with as a story in their stories. He's never read that book other than that one game, and it was to bring attention to himself on the sideline. No one's ever seen him reading a book on the sideline any other time except that one game, but he just told everyone he always does it. So people happen to believe that.
Do you think it was
to bring attention to himself? That's what all this is about.
I know, but hang on. I'm talking about AJ Brown, for my money, is an introspective type of dude.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Okay,
for sure.
I'm smart. That's fine. I would imagine a lot of those guys are smart, right? A lot of college educations. I know they play a gladiator sport, but still, a lot of dudes are a hell of a lot smarter than I am. But I just look at AJ in a different manner. I do believe there's something real underneath the surface than the loudmouth diva wide receiver that we're used to. I do think that he understands what everything is, and he's a smart dude off the field. But with the book itself, I didn't really buy into it, but you're right. I've been reading it all the time, and it's the first time it was caught.
Everyone just bought that lie. What a ridiculous lie.
And then bought the book.
Yeah,
went to number one for
number
top
one.
seller.
Good for that author, Jim Murphy.
How about that? Nice pull.
Here's what people forget, though, about AJ is that he did this same thing last season. The Eagles were on a 9-game winning streak.
Correct.
I remember after, I believe it was the Panthers they played early December 9th, I think that game was. AJ Brown
almost beat him.
AJ Brown they did almost beat him, but AJ Brown only had 4 catches for 40-something yards, and he didn't have his best game. The Eagles had won 9 straight games, and he was asked the problem with the offense, and he said passing straight up. And he alluded to the fact that his frustration was because the passing game wasn't good, and it's kind of shot at Jalen Hurts. Brandon Graham comes over the top the next day on his radio show and says comments about Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown's relationship and how it's not that strong. He has to clear that up. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts get in front of the team, have to dap each other up and hug each other out in front of the team. Guess what? We all forget about that. It's ancient history now because the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I'm not that concerned about it. It's just we've been down this AJ Brown path before, and we'll go down it again. It's the nature of being in the AJ Brown business.
Fair. I also want to bring this to the table, and I was going to bring it up later, but I also have this. Like 2023 wasn't that long ago, right?
No.
Okay. Last time I checked, last year was last year. Great. The year before, S hit the fan.
Yeah.
And they were 10-1.
Yeah.
This team is 4-0, and they have looked great at times, but they have some real big flaws. They have some issues that they need to figure out. I'm not going to sit here and say that they'll go off losing 6 or 7. I'm not going to sit there and say that at all. They continue to find ways to win, so I'll shut up until they do lose. But it's not going to shock me if teams eventually come out on top and they lose a 3-point game at home to the Denver Broncos, or they lose a tough game to the Giants on the road. Like, it's not going to shock me. It won't.
And that's a common sentiment. There's this collective PTSD in the city from 2023,
somewhat.
But there's a lot of differences.
Excuse me, my throat here. I haven't heard anybody bring up 2023.
Really?
No.
I see all these people just being, and maybe they don't bring it up directly, but they have these concerns of a 4-0 team because of what happened in 2023.
Are they
with
valid
the 10-1
concerns?
team. Not really.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of reasons. Number one is those concerns were happening midway through the year in November and then December, and then they obviously spilled over into January. This is the first month of the season. being 4-0 and having all these problems is better than we were last year, being 2-2 and having all these problems and still trying to figure out your identity. Second reason is the coordinator situation was a disaster in 2023.
Fair.
Obviously, Matt Patricia had to go, and then whoever even was before him, I can't even think of him. Brian Johnson was the OC.
Yep.
It was disastrous all around. Vic Fangio is one of the best coordinators in the league. This defense has been playing well. I trust Kevin Petula and how much Nick Sirianni has grown as a coach and as an offensive mind. So that's a massive difference. And the other one is this passing game has shown flashes of what it can be. We know what it can be. The first half against the Bucks, second half against the Rams. They put halves together where this passing offense looks incredible and unstoppable.
You're right.
So it's not like they haven't shown it. It's just the consistency and doing it throughout an entire game. Now, there are real concerns about this offensive line and the running game. That's a whole nother separate conversation, but that's more about injuries than anything. But I don't think there's all these underlying issues that are boiling underneath that are going to spill over into some big collapse like we saw in 2023.
Interesting. All right. Get involved in the conversation at Fox, PHL Gambler. We're streaming on all things socials. I'll put this damn radio show up against anybody out there, coast to coast. Kyle Fisher, he'll be joining us coming up at 4:05. It's the nature of being in the A.J. Brown business. That's what you said. Yeah. Nice quote there. Put that on a shirt. He also said the question for the Eagles is, do they figure it out like last season, or do they never figure it out and fall apart like the year before? I definitely would not subscribe to the latter. I am all about this team figuring it out. They're 4-0. Point blank. We are doing the pregame show plug at 9 a.m. Green Legion Radio live from Stateside Live on Sunday. And I am coming up with the run of show. I am not starting the show off. I didn't do it the last time. This is show number 2 for us with something negative. I'm not. This team is 4-0. This team has won 20 out of the last 21. They're the reigning Super Bowl champions. I am not opening them up in that first segment with anything negative. The second segment, we're going to debate A.J. Brown. We're going to talk a little bit more about the passing game. But that's where I'm at mentally. I think that this team is too damn good not to figure it out. Oh, by the way, Nick Sirianni, stopped doubting him. Of course, Vic Fangio and Petullo. You got to give him an opportunity to
100%.
Get it going. This is the first quarter of the regular season. They're not going to look like they did against the Commanders right now. They're not going to look like they did in last year's Super Bowl against the Chiefs right now. Allow this season to play out.
And to answer Kyle's question, there's a middle ground between those two scenarios that for some reason, because of how the last 2 seasons go on, we don't seem to accept as a fan base, but it's probably the direction we're headed, where it's not just you're going to figure it out and become the best team in the league and dominate on your way to the Super Bowl. And it's not that you're just going to collapse and lose 6 out of 7 and all hell is breaking loose.
Yep.
It's probably gonna be somewhere in the middle where this team is a really good team, but maybe not good enough to actually win the entire thing or make the Super Bowl because of whether it's the offensive line injury issues and the running game never gets going or whatever the issues are. That's probably where we're headed, but that's the more reasonable, rational answer to, we're going to figure it out, win the entire Super Bowl. 2023 collapse is coming. This team is going to lose 6 straight games. So I think everyone should accept that as a fan base because we've been really spoiled about how much we've been winning recently.
Yeah.
And we just expect that that's normal, but it's not. It's not normal to win 18 straight games with your starting quarterback. That's unprecedented.
You're absolutely right. Speaking of, in my previous pregame show, I said, give me one word that describes that winning streak, the 19 out of 20 or whatever it was at that point in time. I know it's 2021. And like everybody was just like blown away, just like it was a great conversation. It was the word of the day. Bird is the word. All right. Coming up on the other side, Julian EDLOW is going to join us from DraftKings Network. We are scoreless right now between the Guardians and the Tigers. Win or go home. That's it, man. You have to win to advance. Who you got? We're rolling with the Detroit Tigers. The Padres and Cubs flip a coin. I think the Cubbies will get the job done. I like a low-scoring game there. And give me the Yankees all day long. We'll come up on the other side. I have a question for Julian to get this conversation going with him. We're going to talk a little baseball. Of course, the Dodgers are favored in the series. The Phillies are favored in game 1. The Phillies have home field advantage. Why are the Dodgers favored in the series? I'm scratching my head at that. Julian has the answer. He's going to give it to us on the other side. There's a couple things that go into this conversation from the odds maker's point of view. He has that from the folks over at DraftKings. He's going to join us. Of course, we're talking some Eagles and Broncos. We're talking all things Thursday night football. We'll even mix in a little college football, Florida State and Miami. It's the Daily Ticket. Do not go anywhere more after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, we've got a crash on 95 northbound in the construction zone at Penn's Landing. Traffic is crawling from the Girard Point Bridge to the accident scene. Further north, 95 heavy Girard to the Betsy Ross. Southbound Jan Cotman to the Betsy Ross. Fire to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save on job site supplies with My Lowe's Pro Rewards. Eligible members enjoy volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms, subject to change.
You see what I see, love?
Our grandson splashing his mom with a cannonball?
You. Having heart failure is hard enough, but now you're having trouble opening the sunscreen. Carpal tunnel acting up again?
Yep, and there are my stomach issues. And how tired I am. I could use a nap.
Let's take a dip, and then we're calling your cardiologist to see what's going on, okay?
If you have heart failure and something's off, it may be ATTR-CM or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis. It's a serious heart condition that gets worse over time. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Seeing what I see? Ask your doctor about ATTR-CM.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next birthday dinner, corporate meeting, or special celebration? Randall's Restaurant in Cherry Hill, New Jersey now offers private dining for parties of 10 or more. Enjoy elevated cuisine, attentive service, and a private yet welcoming space designed to make every moment special. Whether it's business-oriented or a night of fun, Randall's brings people together around the table. Book your private dinner or event today at randallslegacy.com. That's randallslegacy.com.
Time now for the Thursday BetMGM Baseball Buzz. Today, the wild card round wraps up with 3 decisive Game 3s. Tigers and Guardians in Cleveland, Padres and Cubs at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and tonight in the Bronx, Red Sox and Yankees for the rights to move on to the divisional round. Step up to the plate with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Bet on any MLB game to activate an odds boost token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. No opt-in is required. MLB trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for full terms. 21 plus. This U.S. promo offer is not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. And that's your Thursday BetMGM Baseball Buzz.
The free iHeartRadio app makes your car radio jealous.
Live radio presets, lyrics for songs, and the most podcasts on the planet.
Plus, it all fits in your pocket.
Your car radio can't do that.
Make sure the free iHeartRadio app is on your smartphone now.
The #1 app for radio.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wishing the holidays could come early? If you own or manage a business, they can. With help from iHeartRadio. People are already shopping for their loved ones and hunting for deals wherever they can find them, including right here. They're listening to the radio. They're listening to podcasts. They could be listening to you. Don't wait for everyone else to kick off the holidays. Get your best season of the year up and running today. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
October in Philly means one thing: Red October.
And the Phillies take the National League East Division crown.
The Phillies are back on the hunt for a World Series ring, and we're bringing you every swing, every strikeout, and every October moment.
And that ball is gone. A
solo shot for Kyle Schwarber.
Live coverage, sharp betting angles, and the true heartbeat of Philly baseball.
As that ball is gone.
Only here on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Daily Tinker with you here live on a Thursday. A lot going on. Of course, we got playoff baseball. Win or go home, Sam OSHTRY. We're taking the Tigers. We're scoreless. Of course, the under is always at play, especially first five. Shout out to Nick McClay cashing in a few times throughout the course of the playoff run so far. We got two more coming up, Padres and Cubbies. We got the Yanks and the Sox in the nightcap as well. Also, though, on Saturday, whether it's 6:08 or 6:38, we got an unbelievable matchup with Christopher Sanchez and your Philadelphia Phillies hosting the LA Dodgers, where Shohei Ohtani will take the mound for the Dodgers. And boys, he has been unbelievable these last four starts. I'm talking about electric. So I'm a little concerned, but at the end of the day, it's playoff baseball. So if you're scared, get a dog, stay on the porch. Last four starts, 19 and two-thirds innings, 1 run, 4 walks, 27 strikeouts. Pretty darn good there. All right, let's head out to the Gambler Hotline, and he joins us every Thursday representing the folks over at DraftKings Network, Mr. Julian EDLOW. Always great to have him on the show, and especially when there's Thursday night football between the Rams and the 49ers. Good college card, NFL, and postseason action. Julian, how we doing today, sir?
Doing well. I'm enjoying, getting to watch a little baseball during the day in the midst of football season. I'm enjoying a tense Red Sox-Yankees series.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. Big one tonight.
Big one tonight. Who you got? You back in the Sox, or do you think the Yankees have an opportunity to take a home game?
So I have some Red Sox to win game 1 and series double result at plus 200. So I'm sitting on a good number, and I will just ride my team at the good number. My head says the Yankees. My heart says the Red Sox. But what I do like is that the Red Sox have a lefty on the mound. Now, they pulled Bayo early yesterday, and they used a lot of bullpen pieces. So we'll see how much they have behind Connolly Early, who is the youngest pitcher ever to pitch in a winner-take-all game. This is his 5th major league start. So the fewest starts, I should say, rather, not the youngest, the fewest starts under his belt in a winner-take-all game. But I like having a lefty on the mound at Yankee Stadium. That's been a big part of this series. The Red Sox didn't even put a righty on the mound in the game they won. Crochet to Chapman, all lefties. And the Yankees are starting their first righty of the series. So if you can just go by that metric and say the Yankees are going to have a lot more right-handers on the mound tonight, that is one thing working in favor of the Red Sox.
All right. Yeah, that's coming up a little bit later this evening. I'm back in the Yanks, and the Game 1 series play is what we also call the Julian EDLOW special. I took a little piece of that for the Phillies and Dodgers, and a nice little transition over to that game, that series, Julian. And I got a question for you that I thought was like perfect, because I know you obviously work at DK, but all in all, you do talk to a lot of people behind the scenes, odds makers. You have a great podcast that you do the stuff daily as well. But why or how are the Phillies a Game 1 favorite? Right. And I think they'll be favored in Game 2, unless I'm missing something. We'll see. We'll talk about that. Get your thoughts on that. And this is a team that's not a fluke. They were your odds-on favorite to win it all heading in to the postseason, essentially for a long damn time of this year. The Phillies were number 1 as far as odds-on favorite. Yet here we are against the Dodgers. And with all that being said, the Dodgers are favored to win the series versus the Phillies here. Phillies have home field. They are favorites in Game 1. They're probably going to be favored in Game 2. The odds makers love them all season long, including in September. How are they underdogs in this spot in your mind?
Let me ask you one more question before I answer. Have the Dodgers named a Game 2 starter?
That's a good question. And
is it going to be whoever's fourth in the rotation, or are they going back to Snell? Because Snell pitched Tuesday and could presumably pitch Sunday on regular rest, right?
Would Snell be favored in that game? I didn't think he would be, but let's see here.
I don't know, but it makes it tighter.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything for a Game 2 starter just yet, unless I'm missing something.
Okay.
Blake
they would probably want to go Snell.
Yes, it says Blake Snell is
because then-
projected to be the starter for game 2.
Okay, because if he starts game 2, then you get him game 5, and that's exactly what you would want if you're the Dodgers. So here's, Ohtani hasn't been pitching as deep into games. He's been good, but he hasn't been pitching as deep into games. And so really you have the top of the Phillies rotation going against the middle of the Dodgers rotation to start the series, which is advantage Phillies, which plays into your question of how can the Phillies be favored in game 1 but not the series. What is priced in is that we'll see what the game 2 price is. Who's going game 2 for Philly?
That would be
Rangers Suarez.
Rangers going game 2, correct.
Suarez, yeah. So I think Snell might be a short road favorite over Suarez in game 2.
Wow.
And if you're going to be a game 2 favorite, that's what the series line is telling me. If you're going to be a game 2 favorite or a game 2 pick'em, and then you go back to Dodger Stadium and you're getting Yamamoto against now the middle of the Phillies rotation, the biggest favorite we'll see in the series will probably be the Dodgers in game 3 in terms of game by game pricing. And then you have the Dodgers again going, the Dodgers would go to Ohtani maybe in game 4. They might have to go another arm there, but they'll be a home favorite once again. So put it this way, the Dodgers are going to be bigger home favorites than the Phillies in each game. So if the Dodgers are the bigger home favorites and you're getting maybe a pick'em type of game in game 2, they're really telling you that the Dodgers just have a better chance to steal a game in Philly than the Phillies do in LA, which obviously the Dodgers have to win a road game here. But it's not just that odds makers are pricing the Dodgers as the better team. It's what creates this game by game, mismatch or mispricing is that we're not going top of the order for both teams or top of the rotation for both teams like we are when we generally start a playoff series. So that being scattered around and getting, the Phillies going to their third starter in the first road game against the Dodgers, where the Dodgers will have, an arm that is going to be priced higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
That's my understanding of how it's going to be priced out. It just so happens that the game 1 matchup favors the Phillies a little bit more, and then the rest of the way out, the Dodgers will be favored and bigger favorites at home than Philly will be.
Yeah, it does make sense, and you're right. When you really do think about it, you break it down. Yeah, it's across the board, and it's a slight. It's minus 125 for the Dodgers, Phillies plus 105 for the series. It's a hell of a lot more from the standpoint of game 1. Last time I checked, Sanchez was like minus 137. Christopher Sanchez, minus 121. Some money coming in on the LA Dodgers there to drop that number over the last few hours, and that's understood. Shohei Ohtani.
People are going to see Ohtani as a dog and, bet that.
Dude, that opened my eyes to know what he's been able to do the last 4 starts. Now, he had one of those starts against the Phillies where he had a no-hitter through 5.5, 6 innings, and then he got pulled. The key to beating the Dodgers is get to the bullpen. You saw it yesterday with the Reds putting up some numbers. That's the key. Get through the starters, get to the bullpen. Easier said than done, especially if Ohtani doesn't have a pitch count / inning count, which I don't think he will, but anything can happen these days. Who knows? All right. You ready to move off of postseason baseball? I know you got a little Stevie Bukes running through your blood right now, Julian, but I didn't know, you want to get over to the actually he's Mr. Wrestling these days. I see him on AEW, that.
Steve's a complete fraud. He builds this whole career on baseball, and now he just wants to dress up in his underpants and have people smash him through tables.
Oh, I love
He's a wrestling guy now.
He is a wrestling guy.
I'll handle the. Don't worry, I'm a man of many talents.
That's it.
I will handle the baseball from here on out because Steve is a made-up sport guy now and is doing the wrestling stuff.
I love it. I'll love to Stevie Bukes. All right, let's talk some football. Let's get into Thursday night football, Julian. Let's talk some 49ers and some Rams. Mac is back. He's getting a start for the 49ers. This is sitting at 8.5 right now for the Rams at home, 43.5. The 49ers are beat up. I mean, they got so many guys that are hurt right now, and that's understood. But at what point do we reach too many points? 8.5 here for a division battle. Shanahan's a hell of a coach. Mac Jones is playing pretty darn good, and as far as starting quarterback and the opportunities that he's had so far this year. And it's a Thursday night game. It's a short week. So are we at the point where we reached where it's like, this is one too many points going one way? Rams a monster favorite tonight. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not betting the Rams earlier in the week because I kind of felt like this was coming, and had some people that I trust that I bet with saying, I kind of like the 49ers this week. I'm like, okay, I'll hold off. And now here we are. I want no piece of the 49ers. I understand that maybe it's too many points for a divisional short week game. That's all good and fine, but I don't know how they move the ball. It's like you just keep losing pieces. Okay, Kittle's out. Okay, Bosa's out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going back and forth with Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. But, Pearsall's been there. Jennings has been there. Now those guys are gone. There's only so much that McCaffrey can do to keep you afloat. I just don't know where the big plays are going to come from. And the Rams are pretty good on defense. The Rams won both of these matchups against the Niners last year. So I have, at this stage in time, teased the Rams down to 2.5 and paired them with the Bills down to 2.5 on Sunday Night Football. I think the Patriots, I don't know where all this love is coming from because you steamroll the Panthers. Just like Daniel Jones got all the MVP love the last couple of weeks. Then Sunday, most bet player by ticket count to win NFL MVP, Drake May, 75-1. Those tickets aren't going to come through. So, yeah, I think Buffalo is going to steamroll the Pats on Sunday Night Football. So I teased them with the Rams to get the Rams back down below a field goal in this game.
All right. One thing to keep our eyes on, the 49ers have been playing some pretty good defense. Now, I know they lost Bosa, and that's a huge loss, but you're talking about a top 3 team with yards allowed per game, only 288 per game. So it's a decent defense. And like I said, Shanahan knows how to match up versus McVay, but if he doesn't have the horses in the stable, and oh, by the way, Salah's a hell of a defensive mind as well. It's just going to be a tough test. I just don't know if they're going to be able to score points like you said, and that's where it comes down to.
I don't think the Rams are necessarily going to run through San Francisco offensively. It's just I don't know how San Francisco scores to keep up when the Rams do get theirs. They're still going to put up some points, and I don't know how the 49ers necessarily keep up, which, San Francisco team total under 17.5 is pretty intriguing. I don't really see him getting over 17. I know it's low. It's a little uncomfortable. You could go that route. First half team total. I've even taken the 21.5 team total bought up because, again, you can pick your number on DraftKings Sportsbook. San Francisco team total under 21.5 and use that as a parlay piece with some other stuff I like later in the weekend.
All right, Julian, I'm going to get selfish here. I want you to rank my wager or rate my wager, if you would not mind. I made a wager
I'd love to.
Yes, I made a wager this morning on DraftKings Sportsbook. I was looking at some of the NFL award markets, and this one caught my attention. He's playing tonight. Puka Nacua, and the numbers that he is throwing up this year are unbelievable. We talked about it earlier this week when you compare him to and Stafford. That's the unifier in this conversation because he was the quarterback for Calvin Johnson. 2012, I think it was, that he went absolutely berserk with the Detroit Lions, and then 2020 or 21, Cooper Kupp when he won the Triple Crown with the LA Rams. And the numbers he threw up. Puka is on pace to destroy both of those seasons. He's got 42 grabs, over 500 yards, 50-plus targets on the season, 1 touchdown, and we're only in 4 games. So, with that being said, Offensive Player of the Year, plus 300 on DraftKings Sportsbook. That wager itself, is that, like, people should have that, right?
I mean, late to the number, obviously. The question is just going to keep doing this. And generally, the answer is no. Like, they slow down at some point in time and you're going to get a better number. So all I would say is if he doesn't have a great game tonight, or if they can win without him, they don't really need to air it out like they have been. Is it going to go back to like plus 500 or something? I don't think he's a bad guy to bet on. I just think you're kind of betting him at his peak. Now, I could be wrong. He could have another 100 yards and a touchdown tonight, and then it just keeps going, and the ship has sailed. But you can't be this good every week. Eventually, he's going to have a bad week, or he's going to miss a couple weeks, and you can get a little bit better of the number if that's the guy that you want. But I don't disagree with the guy that you are betting on. Stafford has been awesome for these wide receiver ones. You mentioned all the examples. And again, there's not really any other major front runners so far. I don't even have the board in front of me. Who's next to him? Who are the other top guys?
I was just doing math right now and just saying, like, if he has 42 catches over the next 12 games, he's going to end up with 168 catches this season. Or no, excuse me. No, because he's got 42. 168. Sorry, I'm not good at math here, especially on the fly. 168. And that's not even counting 17. That's not even counting the extra game that we're getting here. Anyways, the other guys, just to let you know, that wasn't the only wager that I made, Julian. I parlayed it because I'm a sicko. Offensive player of the year right now. Puka is at 3-1. Jonathan Taylor plus 450. Bijan 5-1. Christian McCaffrey 6-1. And then St. Brown at 15-1. So big drop off there.
See, so he doesn't have much competition right now, which is what I like. That's the other thing. Like, if he misses a game and somebody else kind of jumps into the fold, you're going to get a lot better number. It's kind of just Puka right now.
Yeah.
Like, Jonathan Taylor's been really good. I don't know if the Colts are ultimately going to be. I have a hard time seeing the Colts ultimately be good enough to have the offensive player of the year, but maybe they do. I've just continued to be wrong on them.
All right, so rate my wager. I can't just do one. I got
to your wager.
No. Hang on. I'm not done. The other leg. I parlayed. Okay. My wager is a parlay this morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm in the awards market, and I look at Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I say Ibuka's the guy. Plus 250. So I lumped him and Puka Nacua together, and I got plus 1,400, 14-1. For the Offensive Rookie of the Year and the Offensive Player of the Year. Rate my wager.
All right. So I give you a 10 for picking the best player in each market. I give you a 0 for buying high on both of them.
Yep.
Buying as high as you can on both of them.
Bad job by me.
And I give you a 0, and I give you another 0 for parlaying awards market. So average out 10, 0, and 0, and I grade your wager a 3.33 on a scale of 1 to 10.
I love it. So is it frowned upon to parlay the awards markets?
I mean, yeah, unless you get them both right.
That's true, too. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Well, it could happen. Ginty continues to do what he's doing, especially this last game. Hampton's been pretty good, and he's going to get a lot of PT with the Chargers. Dart's up there. Tyler Warren's a guy that could potentially get in the mix as well, because he is going to throw up some serious targets or serious catches at the end of the season. I don't know. I just looked at it and I said, you know what? Buka's the guy right now if he can stay healthy, especially with that team. That seems like anytime someone takes the field, they get hurt with Tampa Bay. But I think I was feeling myself this morning and probably hit send on a wager. Yeah, exactly.
Julian, before we get to the college slate, there's a game I'm looking at between the Giants and Saints, where the Saints are 1.5 point favorite.
Oh,
talk to me about that game. A classic letdown spot for the Giants. I think the hype around Jackson Dart's getting a little out of hand after a good, solid debut for sure. It's not like this guy was the second coming of Tom Brady in that debut. But the Saints team, obviously, that hasn't won a game, but Spencer Rattler has had some moments, honestly. So talk to me about that game. It's eyeing my attention. Saints minus 1.5 at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dart's getting a lot of hype for a guy that threw for like 100 yards last week. I don't know how the Chargers found a way to lose that game, but they did, and now you got to go on the road off a win without Malik Neighbors. I think as much of the hype as this is for the Giants, Jackson Dart beat the Chargers, we got to bet him next week against the Saints. It's also just overlooking the Saints as this doormat that we had a preseason notion on, and they haven't totally been that. They did get run out when they went to Seattle. They got destroyed in that game on the road. Then they go on the road for the second week in a row and kind of hang tough with Buffalo until the very end. And the only 2 home games that we've seen them play, they played San Francisco and Arizona within a possession. So there's absolutely no reason that the Saints could not win this game. The fact that they opened dogs was crazy. The Giants should be road favorites against nobody, and the market has corrected that. But I don't think it's corrected enough. This would be, I don't know if I need to spend my Sunday afternoon betting Saints Giants, but if I do, it will be Saints money line for me.
All right. Let's talk a little about the Eagles and Broncos here. Let's bring it to our backyard, Julian. A lot of people are hopeful that the Eagles will slip up, but yet they just find ways to win games. Hasn't been pretty at times. And then they've had stretches where they look like the reigning Super Bowl champions. It's just a Jekyll and Hyde situation, but they still find ways to win the game. And that's all that matters, unless we're talking point spreads. 3.5 at home against the Broncos here, 43.5, a little lower total here, 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Broncos and Eagles, where are you at with this one, Julian?
Not a game I'm going to bet. I would rather bet the Saints probably than bet this game.
Ooh.
But I would lean Broncos. Tampa has been the team that has been the most fortunate team in the NFL to get out to that 3-1 start. And the Eagles were the second most fortunate team, really, to be where they're at. And the Eagles take that game over Tampa. The Eagles are just due to trip up at some point. I think they're gettable, and I think the Broncos, you're probably getting a little bit of value on them in the market because they haven't been all that great. They destroyed the Bengals in a gotta-have-it spot to get to 2-2. They're probably the more desperate team in this spot. So I'm not betting the game. I just think that the Eagles are getting pretty close to a slip-up somewhere. They can't be this perfect this year with the way that they're playing coming off of the season that they had. I just there's going to be one coming. It might be this. I'm not convinced enough to bet it, though.
All right. What's the NFL game that you are wagering on this weekend?
Well, my favorite play is this Rams-Bills teaser. So we covered that.
Okay.
I don't know what I'll have for many other sides. I will have some props, and the one that I just finished adding to my article is David Montgomery over 50.5 rushing yards against the Bengals. Gibbs came out around 80. Montgomery's around 50. Montgomery's 2-2 to over 50 yards this season. The 2 he didn't get was against elite Green Bay and Cleveland defensive fronts. The other 2 games combined, he has combined 23 carries for 208 yards and 3 touchdowns against Baltimore and Chicago. This Bengals game is going to be more like Baltimore and Chicago. You're a double-digit favorite. Since he's been a doormat, they rank, 26th against the run, 135 per game. But if you throw out the week 1 game where they only gave out like 40 to the Browns before the Browns even had Judkins active, they're giving up like 165 rushing yards a game over the last few games, including 186 on Monday Night Football. Dobbins went for over 100 yards. So getting Montgomery at 50 yards here, I think game script, matchup, everything is there for a pretty big game for Montgomery to even be sitting 30 yards in the third quarter, and then they just run that ball late, and he winds up way clearing this number.
All right, we got Julian Edlow once again. Join us every single Thursday here. You can find him on all things socials. That's EDLOW. Be sure to press play on his DKN Daily Bets podcast, DraftKings Network, Daily Bets podcast. 15-20 minutes, Monday through Friday. You can get it wherever you get your podcast app, but just hit him up on socials. He's got everything pinned right at the top. Let's get on over to the college football card. Quickly on this one, is it time for Penn State to move off of James Franklin, or is this season still TBD? And we'll see what happens. But I just think, man, you got to win that game. And if you're not going to win that game, I can't fight for you anymore.
Yeah, I'm done betting Penn State in big games. I'll tell you that. I'm not doing it again. I'm done.
Took you 25 times to realize that.
I bet Georgia, and I was mad at the result there because I felt like Kirby Smart coached bad. Georgia has some drop balls. They should have kicked the field goal. Like, I have reason to believe that Georgia could have and should have won that game. Penn State, I don't have belief in the big game. Matter of fact, I can't wait for the Ohio State game. I can't wait to bet Ohio State with a lot of confidence.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm not firing James Franklin. He's still going to win the games he's supposed to win. Maybe the way the college football playoff bracket falls, if it falls anything like last year and you get Boise and SMU, you can win a couple games until you have to play a real game. So, like, you're good enough where it's like, all right, you're going to fire him, and what are you going to get? Unless you're going to get Nick Saban or something. Like, I don't know how you really get that much better. You can still beat almost every team in the nation as long as they're not a top 5 team.
You know, we went through that conversation here with Andy Reid, and it's the same. All these talking points come up with every single coaching situation where it's very similar, whether it's college football, NHL, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing said. And it's be careful what you wish for. Is the grass greener on the other side? Who are you going to get? There's always somebody else. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl here. You know, he replaced Andy Reid. And then, oh, by the way, Nick Sirianni comes along and bumbles himself in the opening press conference where I'm second-guessing everything, and now he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and it was 1-1. So I just think over to the college side, for my money, no one thought that Cignetti would have the success he's having right now at Indiana. I'm not saying him, but there's always somebody else. There's a Dan Lanning that's out there, somebody else. Kirby Smart, you know, be careful what you wish for, you know, like DeBoer with Alabama. He's a hell of a get. There's got to be somebody else out there.
The other way to look at it, too, is, okay, so you got rid of Andy Reid and you started making Super Bowls, but also Andy Reid has been making a lot of Super Bowls.
Yep.
And be in a Super Bowl. So maybe if you get James Franklin, his Patrick Mahomes, instead of Drew Aller.
That's a good call.
Maybe if you just scout a better
Drew Aller was
quarterback.
supposed to be the guy there.
It
He
would
was supposed to be
also-
the best Penn State quarterback in decades.
Yeah, well, he's no Kerry
Apparently
Collins. Yeah, exactly. All right, Julian, quickly on this one, because you've been with us for a little while. I appreciate your time as always, man. Where you at as far as the college card is concerned? Any interest, Florida State and Miami in the nighttime?
I do have a little interest, and sharp side of this game for sure is FSU. FSU's off a loss and a clear look-ahead spot on the Friday night game against Virginia. I did take the 7 with Virginia in that one.
Nice.
And now people are taking the 4.5. The sharper side is the 4.5 at home against Miami. It's a little scary because FSU looked great at home against Bama. That's a huge win. I think Miami might just be really good though, and I might go to the square side of this game and find a way to get Miami money line on my card come Saturday night. I don't know if it gets short enough where I can play it. It might be something you got to put with a monster, Notre Dame or Michigan type of favorite on the card to get it to a playable number. But I tend to think that Miami might just show up for this game and be really, really good. Win or lose, I do like a future on Miami. Miami to win the ACC is like -120, -125 across the board. If you look at different books, best prices at DK Sportsbook -105. However, only place I'm seeing this market is DK. To make the ACC title game, Miami is only -150. You're telling me other places they're -125 to win the ACC. I can bet a -155 just to get to the -150 just to get to the game. I think that's a good bet. If they lose on Saturday night, I might come back for more. If they win, that ship has probably sailed for the rest of the season. That's going to be a much longer number. You're not going to be able to bet it.
Julian, fantastic job across the board, man. Always great to get you on. You know that. And good luck on all those plays. We'll continue to read your fine work over there at the DraftKings Network and hit and play on the podcast Monday through Friday. Good luck on those plays, man. We'll catch up next week, Julian.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk next week.
My man, there he is. Once again, Julian Edlow on the Gambler Hotline. All right. Sam's hanging with me full show. Busy 4 o'clock hour. We got Kyle Fisher. He's going to join the party coming up on the other side. Then NATALIE EGENOLF will be joining us coming up at 4:35. Breakfast for the Birds, a new show right here on The Gambler every Sunday. So NATALIE's going to join us in the studio, have some fun with her. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, deep dive on all things Phillies and Dodgers. Where is Luke ARCAINI? He's fired up. He is just ready to go. I'm sure he's probably at Citizens Bank Park right now as we speak.
Wait until Saturday.
That's it. I love this. I didn't see this. Apparently, the powers that be booked Ben McDonald to cover the Padres and Cubs game yesterday on ESPN as the play-by-play announcer. Now, Ben McDonald is with the Orioles for the season. He also does Little League World Series, if I'm not mistaken. So there was an ad or a promo for the NHL. Yeah, the NHL is back in our lives, and it aired, of course, on ESPN. And when you're hosting, you should be nice in the sandbox. Build it up. I can't wait for that. Ben McDonald decided to do something completely different, and he said, quote, after the promo, there is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's it. The ringing endorsement was heard on ESPN. Of course, the Padres and Cubbies coverage of Game 2. Yeah, it's ESPN's NHL's opening night. And you're out there ripping their product. Well, of course, the hockey heads had some fun with him.
Look, I love it. I love it.
You're not a hockey guy.
Obviously, I'm not a hockey guy. I love it. Look, I mean, if you're an ESPN boss, you're going, come on, man.
Come on.
We pay a lot for this to be on our network.
Company line, dog.
You cannot rip the product. But as just a viewer of sports and broadcasters, you love the authenticity. Like, I would love when not Al Michaels anymore, but when Mike Tirico is coming back from Sunday Night Football and promoting one of these awful NBC shows that everybody knows just awful television, I would love for him to read the promo and Chris Collinsworth just be like, that show is probably awful. It seems awful. The promo is awful. Everything about it's awful. Nobody's actually going to watch it because most of these network shows are really bad these days. But obviously, he's not going to do that. But I would love for someone to just be honest. And Ben McDonald was honest. And his defense was this morning that he was just saying because the baseball playoffs are also going to be on. So obviously, he's going to watch the baseball playoffs over hockey. Yeah. But he's obviously not a hockey fan. Neither am I. So I have no problem with it.
There's always been butting of the heads between the hockey fans and everybody else. And now,
because they're sorry that nobody watches.
Oh, stop
it!
It's
the lowest rated
great.
sport. It doesn't get any coverage on the good channels because nobody cares about it.
Watch out for the Flyers. Big orange and a black season for us here. All right,
I'll be tuned.
We don't have any hockey on these airwaves, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, as you know.
Kyle Fisher's going to join us on the other side. Let's talk some Phils. Let's talk some Birds, NFL. Kyle works for CBS Sports, and it's a home game for Mr. Fisher on Sunday. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz and Tracy Wolfson and company will be at Lincoln Financial Field for the Broncos and the Eagles, a home game for Kyle Fisher. Looking forward to hearing a little bit more about that as he, I'm sure, is excited to patrol the sidelines down at the Link. We'll talk more with him on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Red October starts now. The road to the ring runs through Philly.
Swinging a bouncer to first. Harper gloves it, takes it himself, and the Phillies take the National League East Division crown.
Only on Fox Sports The Gambler and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
The Bonus Bucks Cash Contest is back. That's right. Every weekday, we're dropping code words and your shot to score a quick stack of bonus bucks. Hear it, text it, and you could be counting cash before the day's over. It's easy to play. Big money on the line. 9 times a day, top of the hour. Hear the keyword, and you could win $1,000. Your shot at bonus bucks all fall long right here on The Gambler.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of ARCAINI Inc. Well, ARCAINI is a specialty materials company.
Our purpose is to bring sustainable solutions to the world, which really means that we're bringing a lot of materials to companies that impact people's lives. You see them in a lot of products that you touch day to day. We have composites that can be completely recycled. Probably our biggest aspect is providing durability for materials that our customers can use. So whether it's a 3D printed machine part that can be used and that's stronger than steel used in aerospace, we see ourselves very much as part of the community. For instance, our partnership with Habitat for Humanity brings the ability to be part of the community, support Philadelphia. Our employees really enjoy volunteering and seeing the impact they bring to people's lives, particularly around areas of education. Plus, one of our areas that we are in the market of is sport. So that brings about our association with the Philadelphia Union Foundation. If I look at Philadelphia compared to other places I've lived, we have really good people that are very well internationally connected, highly educated, and a good sense of community, and really tie into some of the values that ARCAINI likes to portray around solidarity, inclusion, performance. Those are values we want to have, and the people fit really well. So we find that people that join ARCAINI from the Philadelphia region are really successful with us.
To find out more, go to arcaima.com. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Week 5 of the NFL season kicks off tonight. It'll be an NFC West clash between the Rams and the 49ers in Southern California. Eagles wideout A.J. Brown took responsibility for that cryptic tweet he sent after Sunday's game, but he admitted he is frustrated over a lack of involvement in the offense. And the Phillies will host the Dodgers in the NL Division Series on Saturday after L.A. ousted Cincy from the wildcard round. I'm Scott Davidson.
Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Find it behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Thursday drive home, and we're jammed on 95 northbound. Girard Point Bridge to Penn's Landing. Just got rid of a crash there. And then stop and go Vine Expressway up to Bridge. Southbound Jan Cotton to the Betsy Ross. Watchford Lays on the Schuylkill. Westbound Jan University to Vine. And Boulevard to Belmont, eastbound, stop and go Blue Route to Belmont, and Montgomery Drive to South. Blue Route northbound stacked up 95 to Route 1, and southbound it's Shand, approaching Broomall to Media Swarthmore. Lara Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Exhausted with applying for jobs online and never hearing back? With Express Employment Professionals, experts in your community are dedicated to helping you find a job. With more than 870 locations, there's always an office in your area. Start at ExpressPros.com to find an office near you.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers are into, true crime, sports, comedy, culture, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. And all this reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for you. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time. Call 844-844-iHeart and get podcasting working for you.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Daily Ticket with you here on a Thursday. Sam OSHTRY from The Score. I'm Sean Brace. Joining us right now, we're running 3 wide. A man who's playing a home game this weekend. How about that? Kyle Fisher, man of many jobs. He does it all. Sundays, he travels with CBS Sports on the sideline as Tracy Wolfson's producer. And he's been all over throughout the course of 4 weeks. But here we are, week 5. Kyle, you get to stay home and sleep in your bed, man. Eagles and Broncos get the A squad with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo and Kyle Fisher. And he joins us right now. Kyle, how we doing?
Doing great, man. Couldn't be more excited for a home game. It's rare. CBS usually gets the AFC. So with all the different broadcast companies in there now, a few more Eagles games. Always a good thing. Like you said, sleeping in your own bed, spending some extra time with the kids, with the wife. Everybody's happy when it's a home game.
You know, take us behind the scenes if you wouldn't mind, because I don't think a lot of us know. I don't know how it works. When do you get your when do Tony Romo and Jim Nantz know what game they are calling? Is this something that's settled on 2 weeks in advance? Is this something they wait for storylines? How does that play out?
It's a mix of both. So we knew the first 4 weeks right off the bat. Week 3 was a little bit of a question, but we were pretty sure we knew the first 4 weeks. This game was almost guaranteed, but if the Broncos had struggled really bad out of the gate, it may have gone differently. Just as an example, we were set to go to Green Bay next week, but with the struggles and how Cincinnati has looked with all the injuries, we've switched and we're going to Tampa Bay next weekend for San Francisco.
Oh, you must have missed the breaking news. The Cincinnati Bengals folded. They're now heading to the CFL.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm not too surprised by that, to be honest with you. So, it's typically we know a few weeks in advance. Like we already know week 9 because it's, I believe it's Chiefs at Bills.
Gotcha.
So we knew we were going to do that from the jump. And then obviously in the second half of the season when flex scheduling is allowed, it's a little tougher to predict. But we usually know our weeks at least 2 weeks in advance. But again, we thought we were going to Green Bay for the last 3 weeks in week 6, and it changed as of yesterday.
Well, very cool, man. So you'll be down there for the Broncos and the Eagles. And that's where we'll start this conversation right here, right now with you. And let's talk a little bit about what's going on with A.J. Brown in this passing game and everything all lumped together. And, you know, we were jabbing on it a little earlier, Kyle, where I'm not panicked by no means. And I don't believe that 2023 is something that will happen. That was a crazy season. That was a team that was very capable of doing some special things. Jalen Hurts was an MVP frontrunner at the time that they completely went downhill and snowballed and things got out of whack, losing 6 out of their last 7. I don't see that happening. But what I do see is a team that can't really put it together in 4 quarters, can't really figure out, when teams make adjustments in these halves, and it takes a little bit time to get going. And then, of course, in the second half against Tampa Bay Bucks, you saw that Todd Bowles was able to have Jalen Hurts' number and made him look silly in that second half. They didn't have a passing yard in the second half, which is just insane. But putting all that to the side, it's a team that continues to win games. Are we foolish to believe that this is still going to continue to be the way, that no matter what is going to happen, as ugly as it will be, maybe for a quarter, maybe for a half, this team will still find ways to win games? Or do you think that, you know what, this is something they need to figure out, and they need to figure it out right now?
Well, I'm a big believer in that. You don't really need to make overhaul adjustments until either the bye week or like really into November, maybe midway through November. You're like 6 to 8 weeks into the season. That's typically when you see massive changes for good teams. So, if you're a bad team, you might make a change at quarterback, might make a change in the defensive scheme, whatever the case may be. But when you're a good team, they're lucky to be 4-0, but they're 4-0. There's no rush to make sweeping changes when your team is good enough to pick up when your offense is lacking. So for me, I think that if they stick to the current game plan and just every week you get a little bit better, get a little bit better, get a little bit better. And I think that the key that helped them last year is the players being vocal internally about what their frustrations are and what they think they can do better as a unit. Some of the run things that have challenged them, there could be basic changes and all of a sudden more holes open up. The offensive line's a little dinged up, maybe not as athletic as it was last season. There's some challenges that you're going to face, but I think that if you look at the way that this team is built, the way that this team has won 4 games, probably should be 3-1 or 2-2, if not for some special teams help. I would be scared if I was a team that had to face the Eagles in the second half, because I, at least as an Eagles supporter, assume that they will make these changes and only get better on offense. So you better hope that you catch them during this time where they're being carried by defense and special teams and their offense isn't getting much going, because once they figure it out, they're going to look like one of the very few complete teams in the league.
I agree with that.
Kyle, how's it going? Good to be on with you for the first time.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
You too. So everyone's talking about the passing game, and I'm not that concerned with it because we've seen it in flashes. We saw it, of course, in the first half against the Bucks. We saw it in the second half against the Rams. They got to put a complete game together. But we know the strength of this team has always been the running game and the offensive line. I'm more concerned about that than anything. Everyone's talking about the passing game, the offensive line, and you mentioned it when you were just talking there, but the offensive line injuries and how this running game and thus Saquon Barkley has struggled has been a much bigger concern to me. I mean, Landon Dickerson is an absolute dog, so he's out there, but he had suffered an injury in training camp that we all thought was going to keep him out for months.
Correct.
So I'm not convinced he's 100%. We know Cam Jurgens' back thing is always lingering. Matt Pryor is in there, and he had to replace Tyler Steen last week, and we'll see what happens with that. Lane Johnson's been in and out of the game the last 2 weeks. This offensive line is seriously injured, and our running game hasn't been as good. They're not getting as much push, and Saquon Barkley's being tackled before the line of scrimmage, which we rarely saw last year. So how concerned are you with this running game? Because if this offensive line doesn't get healthy throughout the entire season, it looks like they're not going to. It's not trending that way. I'm concerned about the potential of this team, but it seems like everyone's just focusing on the passing offense.
I see what you mean. Nobody expected Saquon to do what he did last year again. It's never happened, right? But you expected it to look a little bit more crisp than it does right now. I'd say that the injuries are not something that you can suddenly, until the bye week, you're not going to get extra rest. You don't have the depth. You don't have, nobody has that much depth to be able to churn out 2 fully all-pro offensive lines. The key is going to be them making adjustments in the way that they game plan. One of the things that they've run a ton this season is counter. Well, they're not good at it. They're not good at it, and you need athleticism. And when you have 2 guys who should be pulling, who can't move as quickly as they would at full health, they're not going to get out there and get those lead blocks. But one thing they could do is run more duo. They were very successful with it last year. A ton of double teams led to wide open lanes for Saquon to show off his athleticism, and they're not doing that for whatever reason. It's going to have to be a conversation that comes from internally. It's going to have to be scheming guys open. I think Sean and I talked about this last week in the passing game, but it applies to the running game as well. The best coaches figure out ways to scheme their guys open, right? How many times have you watched a Chiefs game in the last 5 years and said, how in the world is Kelsey open again? How is this guy not the guy that's covered? The Eagles need to figure out a way to do that, whether it's A.J. Brown or whether it's getting Saquon in open space. They need to scheme differently around their injuries as opposed to doing the same thing that's not working.
Yeah, they are middle of the pack right now as far as rushing is concerned, averaging 113 yards per game. To put it into perspective, the Buffalo Bills are number 1 at the top of the list at 163. Commanders are at 154 at the bottom of the barrel. Cincinnati Bengals, 50 yards rushing per game. My goodness, it is ugly there. All right. And again, I think it's important to point out, as everybody has, this team continues to win games. So I'm not panicked by no means. It's just all right, man, Like if the playoffs were to start today, I'd have a hard time beating my chest. That's all. But they don't start today. Got a long way to go. A lot of football to be played. Big time game against the Denver Broncos coming up on Sunday. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about A.J. Brown here and, the mea culpa that he comes out yesterday, which I think he deserves a lot of credit, Kyle. I'd like to come out and say I messed up. I made a mistake. I want to be here. That was a bad job by me. I salute you. I can live with everything if you are one of these guys that can come out and say, I was wrong. It's so hard for my wife never says it. God bless her. She never says she's wrong about anything, right? Like I just worked with a guy this morning. He was like, he was joking. He's like, I can't say I get things wrong all the time. I am fine saying that I get things wrong. It is okay. A.J. Brown did that. So I'm ready to put this behind us. Let's focus on the next opponent. Is it as easy as that, though, for the guys inside the locker room in your mind?
I think if he doesn't do it again, it's really easy, right?
Well, we know he's going to do it again. It's AJ Brown.
He has a history of doing it again. It's like if Sunday comes and goes and all of a sudden he's tweeting out memes or whatever right after the game because he only had 3 catches on 5 targets or whatever, then, it's if you say one thing and you act differently, then I'm going to hold it against you a little bit. And some of the he's a veteran himself, so he shouldn't need a talking to, but some of the veterans just got to get their arms around him like, hey, we get it, man. We all feel that way. We all want you to get the ball, but let's keep it in-house so it doesn't blow up into something else. In 2023, it felt like the frustrations and them barely hanging on boiled over at one point, right? You don't want it to get to a point where you have so much turmoil just because everything isn't going perfect that you allow it to boil over and impact your play on the field as a team, right? It's if AJ doesn't get the targets, but they keep winning, I'd be a little annoyed, but at the end of the day, you got 30 million in your pocket and you're 5-0, right? So I know it's a lot. It's not as simple as I just made it, right? But I think that when you think of the diva wide receiver, they never do this. They never come out and apologize after the fact. A perfect example, a guy, Stephon Diggs, who no matter how successful he was in Buffalo, it seemed like there was always this under the skin turmoil between he and Josh Allen. And if he didn't have a great game, that's all the talking point was. Look, he's making it about himself. He's screaming at people. But being on the sideline for as many times as we were with Buffalo, you were hearing a much different thing. It sounded like he was yelling frustrations at people because seemed that way from the outside. But when you're listening to what he says, he's a fiery leader. He was on the sideline trying to get everybody up. We're still in this game. Don't worry about it. Yeah, he would express his frustrations about his lack of play, but during the game, to quote Jalen Hurts, he kept the main thing. And as long as they won, he was okay on that field. So I think that that's something that when you have video without audio and you're not in that clubhouse every single day or locker room, clubhouse, sorry, MLB on the brain. But when you're in that locker room, or you're not in that locker room every day, rather, you don't know what those conversations are like. So if he tweets something and you want to overreact to that, that's fine. But if everybody in that locker room trusts him, then who am I to say that I don't?
I think that's a great point in terms of the diva wide receivers. Also, AJ Brown doesn't do tussy like Stephon Diggs. But but I do think
I was like, wait, what?
I do think that's a great point in terms of the difference between AJ Brown and how he's willing to apologize. And I also think furthermore, is the Eagles' culture strong enough to overcome some of those attitude problems with A.J. Brown? And that's a credit to Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman and the culture they've built. But we saw that last year. Sean and I were talking about it earlier in the show, how A.J. Brown did similar things last year and caused a distraction, caused his teammates and coaches and everyone to answer questions about him because of his comments after a game where he was frustrated. He didn't get a lot of targets. But they obviously overcame that and ended up winning a Super Bowl. So I think the culture is strong enough to overcome A.J. Brown's attitude concerns, but I also think it's a great point by you that his divaness, if that's a word, is a little different than other star wide receivers because he actually takes accountability after his mistakes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We know all about the drama last season. Everybody owns one of these now. We all know about the drama last season, but you're right. It's something that it's not the first time where we've had an incident, but they've been able to move past it every time. And if the worst thing that your receiver does is tweet a meme and then apologize because some people took it the wrong way, or maybe he was just frustrated and he emotionally tweeted, like, all things considered, you're doing pretty good if that's the worst thing that happened to you this week.
No doubt about it. We got Kyle Fisher, does a bang-up job for every outlet that he represents. But, folks, make sure you're following him on all things socials at Kyle Fisher 45, Kyle Fisher 45. And you can find everything that he is doing right there on all things socials, as I just said. All right, let's shift gears, Kyle. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball playoffs here, as we do have some live action all tied up at 1 apiece. That game is heading to the bottom of the 5th. Guardians and the Tigers in a knock them down, drag them out type of game. It's win or go home. 3 of them taking place this afternoon/evening. First time in Major League Baseball history. Game 1, though, for the Phillies and Dodgers Saturday. Shohei Ohtani on the mound, Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First of all, I want to open up with this. We were having this discussion earlier, and you came in with the Phillies are 29-14 in postseason baseball at Citizens Bank Park. Don't care how you feel about it or a recent example. The proof is in the pudding. He directed that at you, Sam OSHTRY, talking about a home field advantage for the Phillies. I am more on your side of the argument than anything, Kyle, but the recent sample that we have, it is really giving it back to us as the Mets. They did win a game here. They lost that second one that went back to New York. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks was just a crippling series as far as happening here at home. But in your mind, do the Phillies have a legitimate home field advantage?
Yes, I think they obviously do, but it still comes down to the players performing on the field, right? They should have won that game up 3-2 with 2 games at home against Arizona, and they just went cold as an offense. But the offense is built a little bit differently. Everybody on the team was asked to do something in the offseason a little different, and for the most part, they all successfully did something different. Trey Turner is a different guy than he was last year or the year before. Nick Castellanos, even, who's in a part-time role, is a different guy at the plate right now. Harrison Bader's coming in and had the best 2-month stretch that he's had in his career, and he is a spark plug for this team. So it's a different offense, and I think that playing in front of this home crowd, both during the regular season and the postseason, has been an advantage. It always, no matter where you play, no matter what jersey you don, it always comes down to the guys have to perform, and I think that they have an advantage at home. Doesn't guarantee anything, but I think it's a clear advantage when you look at the record and their performance in the regular and postseason.
Yeah, I think it's easier to play at home, no doubt. And look, I think
for sure
the Phillies, Citizens Bank Park is the most electric atmosphere in baseball.
Damn right.
Hands down. It's unbelievable. The place is going to be rocking, and it's been rocking.
But it's not a home field advantage in your mind.
It's that doesn't matter that much. I think we give home field. It's not like the Yankee Stadium is a home field advantage.
It's walking through a field for the Dodgers. It's just fun.
I think that we give way too much credit to home field advantage that isn't really deserved. And we've seen teams lose games at home, big time games at home, time and time again, even in the most electric atmosphere in baseball. And we go back to that Diamondback series, we're up 3-2, lose game 6 and game 7 at home. The Mets game 1 last year I was at the World Series game against the Astros where the Phillies got no hit. It was unbelievable. It was electric. But then, even when they were getting no hit, it was electric. It doesn't matter as much as I think everyone makes it out to be. But look, the Phillies are a great team. And like Kyle just said, it's going to come down to how their bats perform, how their bullpen, starting pitching performs, everything that we know that actually wins you playoff games more than it is the 30+ thousand. What more than that? Was it 40+ thousand that are going to be at Citizens Bank Park?
Yeah. I would just say this, Kyle, and we'll close up shop and get your thoughts on game 1. Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks. A team like the Dodgers, they're not going to be bothered by it. They just won the World Series last year.
That's right.
However, the Marlins came in for a playoff game.
That's true.
And, they're young and they had no idea what they were dealing with the other year that it happened, 2-3 years ago, whatever it was. And, look, it could get a little rowdy down there at Citizens Bank Park. And guys like Philly Catton don't make it a walk through the park. Hey, yo! I love it. Kyle, your thoughts? Game 1, my friend. Where we at?
Well, I think Shohei is a difference maker. They're going to unleash him. They said no limitations on him. He threw 6 no-hit innings last time they played each other a couple weeks ago. And the one thing that I think is going to end up being a difference maker for the Dodgers is they pitched Roki Sasaki out of the bullpen at the end of the season, and he averaged in that playoff game against the Reds to shut the door. He averaged 100 miles an hour on his fastball. Most guys don't average 100 miles an hour on their fastball. They can hit 100 regularly. This guy was averaging 100. He seems to be comfortable in that role. And you go from a team that really struggled in the bullpen in the second half, especially in September. I think they were like the 27th ranked bullpen when it comes to ERA and in the final month of the season. All of a sudden you take a guy who has electric stuff and you put him at the back end where he can go 1 or 2. That's exciting for them. For the Phillies, it's a little scary, I would say. But ultimately, I think Chris Sanchez is going to be the reason that the Phillies win game 1. Regardless, I know I just gave you a reason why, Ohtani to Sasaki could be something that's detrimental, but I think the Phillies, they're going to try and weigh on Shohei early, try and get him out of the game to get to that rough bullpen, or at least the rough patches of the bullpen before they're willing to turn the ball over to Sasaki, and Sanchez is going to go give you 7 strong innings like he always does.
Kyle, you're the best. I apologize getting to you a little bit late there. Ran a little long.
Okay, man.
But always great to get you on here, sir. Once again, Kyle's got a lot cooking. See him on the sidelines on Sunday. Read him over at the Philly Sports Network. Weekly guest, weekly contributor here on The Gambler. Busy time of year for Kyle Fisher. Nobody better. Always great to get you on, Kyle. Enjoy the game on Sunday. And let's talk on Monday. Let me get you on Monday's show.
All right. Let's do
go
it.
Monday. Since you're home, I know you're home.
I'll be at the ballpark Saturday. And then I have a ticket covering the game, and then I have a ticket on Monday. So I'll see you Monday before I head down there as a fan.
I forgot.
Game 1.
We do have a game on Monday. So, yeah, that's right.
We'll figure it out, though. We'll be okay.
Yeah, you're the best. Hey, man, enjoy the game on Sunday. Continued success, man. Great job.
Appreciate you guys.
My man, there he is, Kyle Fisher on the Gambler stream. We keep it moving. Natalie EGENOLF in studio right here on the Daily Ticket, plus Luke Arcaini in the 5 o'clock hour. More after this.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch, because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and 1 blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We've got jam traffic on the Platte Bridge eastbound, just about the length heading into South Philly. And that was people avoiding 95 because 95 northbound backed up Girard Point Bridge at Penn's Landing from an earlier crash. And then stop and go from the Vine Expressway up to Bridge, southbound Jan Cotman to the Betsy Ross. Delays on the Blue Route northbound 95 to Route 1 and southbound St. David's Immediate Swarthmore. Eastbound Schuylkill Jam Blue Route to Belmont, Montgomery Drive to South, westbound Jan University to Vine and Boulevard to Belmont. Lara Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, get 20% off boneless beef ribeye roast and steaks through October 7th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever. Pair with your favorite fall vegetables for a cozy dinner. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of ARCAINI Inc.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
It's your Thursday Sports Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Week 5 of the NFL kicks off tonight in Los Angeles with the Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams 3-1, but the 49ers really banged up. No quarterback Brock Purdy. He is out with a toe injury. Mac Jones will get the start under center. The offense even more banged up without wide receivers Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, both out tonight with injuries as well. The Rams have shot up to an 8.5-point home favorite. Over under total points now 48.5. New to BetMGM? Sign up today using code MINUTE to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for full terms. 21 plus to wager. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Promotions vary by market. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And that's your Thursday Sports Minute.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-IHEART.
Hey, fight fans, this is the notorious Conor McGregor. Saturday at the Prudential Center, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is taking over, and I'll be there myself. I am not just a fan, I'm the owner, because this is the greatest fight show on earth, the most violent spectacle in all of combat sport. Celebrities, chaos, unbelievable fights. It's not just an event, it's a war zone of entertainment. You'd be mad to miss it. Saturday, Prudential Center. Get your tickets now at bkfc.com. I'll see you there.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much.
My lower back pain was interrupting family time. My carpal tunnel syndrome was taking me away from work. That's why I talked to my cardiologist about my symptoms.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist and discovered I had ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis.
If you have heart failure and new or worsening symptoms, it could be ATTR-CM. ATTR-CM is a serious heart condition often accompanied by other non-heart-related symptoms. Talk to your cardiologist today and see what's possible. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at TopDogLaw.com. Once again, that's TopDogLaw.com.
Welcome back. Daily Ticket with you here. Ins and outs. So, kids, you want to be in radio? Let me tell you what you got to do. I kid.
Starve.
Ramen noodles. Get used to it. Yeah, exactly.
They're a delicacy now.
Dude, we were just yapping about, coming up and no matter where you're at, like whatever profession, you got to earn your stripes, whatever. I think it's a little longer in this side of the world.
Yeah.
But
well, also in Philadelphia too.
Yeah.
Because we are a top market.
Yeah.
So
you know what they say about Philly, right? It's
what?
It's the place that you stop when you're trying to get from DC to New York.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. But we're here. We've been here, Sean.
Joining us in studio, host of Breakfast Before the Birds, heard every Sunday right here on The Gambler at 10 a.m.
Yes.
The one and only Miss Natalie EGENOLF.
Hello.
Nat, how we doing? Great to have you.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Roaring round of applause.
Thank you.
So, first of all, I want to say this. The show sounds great.
Thank you.
You are like, I've heard you before. I've watched you before. I know who Natalie is. But it was just different. I don't know. I mean, it's because it's on our station. It's what we're doing together. I don't know. So it's a little different, I guess. But when we left Penn State, we were driving home, and I fired up the iHeartRadio app. And the first thing, Sam was in the front seat.
Oh.
I was like, damn, that girl is good.
Oh,
she
thank
has a
you.
radio voice.
Thank you.
Booming.
Thank you. You know what's funny is when I first, as we're talking about, our careers here and putting in the time, I'll never forget the first time I was on the air. I couldn't stand the sound of my voice.
Of course.
When I heard it back.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Now sometimes I still get sick of it. You know, if I hear it, I'm like, all right, that's enough of me.
Yeah.
But but no, it's cool. And I'm having a blast on Sundays. I'm so glad John and Roy have been able to join me.
Oh man.
They've been excellent. We're having a lot of fun with it. I have some big plans for this weekend with Denver. So
Let's go.
if people aren't familiar with the concept of the show, it's called Breakfast Before the Birds. It's supposed to be fun, entertaining. And in addition to Eagles football, we'll talk about pregame and what our predictions and all that other good stuff. But I'm also cooking up meals based on the opposing team's cuisine. And it's
interesting.
Yeah, so the show is brought to you by Godshall's Bacon. So every episode will feature a meal that includes Godshall's beef bacon.
Hello.
I'm trying to think what Denver would be. Can
Well,
you get a little tease?
First of all, I need to get in studio on Sunday.
Yes. Let me know who's coming. I'll cook for everyone.
Let's go. Good
I'll cook
grief.
for everyone.
So Denver,
Yeah.
where you're just going with this, Sam,
little open-ended. I'm trying to think. Help me out. What are we at as far as food is concerned? Do you have a
think
guess?
Of, like weed when you think about
geez.
that.
So
are you making brownies?
So somebody else suggested that. I said
That's
it.
all that's coming to mind.
I said it is Eagles green.
Yes.
You know, like
Oh,
so.
that's
There's
good.
a tie in there.
I'd love to see Jansen high on brownies
Right?
hosting a
Could you
radio show. That
imagine?
would be hysterical. And Roy too as well.
I'd be napping in the corner. Be
Yeah.
like, Nat, where's Nat?
Yeah,
She's snuggled up in the corner
That
over
would
there
not
giggling.
go well with me. I'd be like, no, if I didn't lose my mind,
Yeah.
then I would probably be snoozing.
Yeah, and giggling in the
eating,
corner.
yes,
Yeah, I'll be in the kitchen. So Denver has interesting cuisine. So they have. I talked about this past Sunday. Rocky Mountain oysters. You guys know what they are, right?
Now we're talking, baby.
Yeah. Well, but so I looked them up. There's really no place to get them in Philadelphia. And also, I'm not going to go and get them from a butcher and cook them myself. That's just not going to happen because I'm going to cook every meal that I have on the show.
Okay.
So I think this weekend they also have interesting things like ostrich in Denver, elk, which again,
Yes.
ostrich and elk, a little difficult to find in Philadelphia. So I'm going with bison burgers.
Yes.
Oh, I
Bison,
like that.
bison bacon burgers.
Those are
right?
probably great
Wow.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'll be cooking up this Sunday. And of course, the Eagles face the Broncos, which, you know, we'll see what happens.
Big one.
It's a big one. I know everybody's like, it's 4-0. How do you complain? I'm always going to complain. And I'm still worried about the passing game. I'm sorry.
All right. So is that
You can't sustain the rest of the season.
is that you're a big reason why you would complain? It's just specifically focused on the passing game
Yeah.
and the fact that they're not able to put it together for 4 quarters.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to see a complete football game, which we haven't seen yet. But at the end of the day, they're 4-0.
I know.
But it doesn't seem sustainable to me. Some of the wins, they've been like kind of ugly, you know, but then they're beautiful at the same time.
yeah.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Look, and what we do, I'm not, like I was telling him earlier, it's like this pregame show that I'm hosting with Legion, like the first segment, I'm not talking about anything negative, but I'm right there with you. Like in the back of my mind, I think to myself, like, hey, look, 2023 #1 is not that long ago. And I thought for sure that was a Super Bowl contender.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, S hit the fan, we lose 6 or 7.
I just said this to the new gentleman who works in the sales department. He came up and he was talking about the game on Sunday. And I literally said that. I said, it reminds me, it's reminiscent of 2023.
So you're getting that vibe right now. That's not good.
And what I was saying is we have a collective PTSD. I think that's why you and a lot of other
always.
people are saying that.
Always.
And it's because of the collapse that happened. I just think this is a completely different
It is.
situation. Different coordinators. They've been there. It's a different culture after what we did last year.
Right.
I think I have way more confidence in this
I
group
do.
than I did in 2023.
I know. I agree with you. And then you even think about just like you said, the coordinators. It seems like within the game, like they're really making the adjustments when they need to be made, which is encouraging because what was it not the Rams? Well, I mean, honestly, the Rams game, they had like it was heavy on the offense in the beginning.
Jalen Hurts had 0 passing yards in the first half against the Rams.
Right. It was that's what it was. 0 against
Yeah.
the first half. And then, the second half, they come back, they make the adjustments.
Yep.
So you do feel a little bit of confidence because there was a time, and Sean, you remember this in Eagles football, where we all we wanted to do was scream for adjustments.
Yeah.
Like that's what we would scream. Those Andy Reid years, all the way back then, we'd be like, no in-game adjustments. That's what all the callers on sports talk radio would be saying. But stupid things like clock management, like we've come like so far from there. But at the same time, it's a long football's a long, tough season with a lot of injuries. And
To your point about adjustments, even think about how they executed the tush push last week. They didn't do an actual tush push.
it was the tush push mush.
It was the fake and then the
handoff.
all of that. It was just that's adjustments, even if it's week to week. They
Exactly.
we don't even need to do the tush
One
push.
of the things that's concerning me, and again, I'm not one of these guys that pounds the pavement watching tape, but there are plenty of people that I do trust that do. And one of them is Dan Orlovsky. And he had a good point. Like, he's like, dude, AJ Brown is literally running 2 routes. That's it. It's way too simple right now what he's being asked to do.
Yeah.
And he's not getting open a lot of the time.
Right.
Right. So I want to give Petullo all the, and look, it's Sirianni's offense as well. I'm no dummy here. There's a lot of voices in there, but he's calling the plays. So I want to give him the opportunity and be patient here, but something is missing.
something's missing, and I know it's probably been beat to death this whole week. The AJ Brown tweet that he put out earlier in the week.
Did apologize though.
He did apologize.
Now, you don't hear that often.
No.
I like a person. Are you a person that could say that you're wrong?
Oh yeah.
You could.
Yeah, I have to.
My wife does not say she's ever wrong.
Well,
ever.
I mean, it honestly depends.
It depends on a relationship type deal or just in real world. Like, because this is not a male versus female thing. I just brought up my wife.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of dudes out there. As a matter of fact, I just worked with a guy this morning that literally said, he's like, I can't get it out of my mouth, but he was wrong and he wouldn't say it.
Oh no, I can do that. Because I'm
the same way.
I like to I own my stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a good thing to be.
I'm right there with you.
Not be, you know what I mean? But like, I own my stuff. So I can admit when I'm wrong.
Okay.
I was very wrong about Carson Wentz. Very, very wrong.
Yeah.
As was I.
Yeah,
I
think
was
we all were.
Carson Wentz. And then you watch him Sunday morning, you're like, this is the Carson Wentz.
Were you guys anti-Jalen Hurts when he got drafted?
Oh, I was anti-Jalen Hurts up until last season.
Right.
After 2023 and how it ended, I was anti-Jalen Hurts.
I wasn't anti-Jalen Hurts when they drafted him. I was more confused organizationally because none of that made sense. And statistically, prior to that year, I mean, my God, what year was that now? 2019, 2021.
Was his rookie season.
Wow.
Prior to that, statistically, Wentz was still kind of putting up numbers.
Yes.
So it didn't really seem like a logical thing. Now we know, and I can look back and say I was wrong.
Yeah.
So, you live and you learn.
The Carson Wentz stuff is funny. You're right about that.
You brought up Orlovsky. He was the guy beating the drum that Carson Wentz was this top 5 quarterback.
Well,
he lost a lot of credibility after that.
Because he did.
2020 rookie year for Jalen Hurts too.
Okay, yeah, but his first year as a starter was 2021.
Yeah. Because it was the 2020 draft, right?
Yeah.
That was
COVID draft.
Yeah, the COVID draft when Roger Goodell was in his basement and Jerry Jones was on a boat.
Yeah,
remember that?
When they drafted, that boat.
I'm like, Roger Goodell, I'm like, you have billions of dollars and you got that wood paneling in your basement from like the 70s?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's good to be Jerry Jones. That's one thing we always know. All right, so we got Eagles and Broncos going off on Sunday, 1:00. Concerned, of course, about the offense right there with you. Defensively, a little nicked up by injuries. That's unfortunate. But I'll tell you what, Nat, again, like I said, I'm optimism. I'm trying to be optimistic, and my glass is half full. Cooper DeJean, the chosen one.
Right.
I can't get enough of this kid.
Yeah.
Everybody was counting on his downfall. He was partying everywhere. He was with Sam OSHTRY out at the shore and Margate. And that's, you close your eyes and you open them up, and the next morning he's up there in Chester hanging out with the Philadelphia Union, back to the ocean. He's doing it up.
Well,
and the man is just showing up every Sunday.
Well, and you know what? You can't worry about that because he's young enough to still be able to do that, right?
Yeah, right. For now, at least.
When you're in your early 20s, you bounce back. In my early 20s, would, be out till interesting hours of the morning, wake up and be at like a radio broadcast at 7 a.m.
22
years old.
Wow.
That was.
It's a different lifetime ago.
It's,
for me.
Same.
Oof.
But like and now it's like, I'm like, I need my full 9 hours. Where's my melatonin? Where's my fan? I need my like white noise.
There's got to be some truth to the more fun off season you have, the better season you're going to have at that age.
At that age. At
Cooper DeJean, the most fun offseason of any
nobody could top it
in the world.
Yeah. You know what? And
his
the thing
jersey's
is,
hanging up all over down the shore.
Having an unbelievable season.
And as long as he gets it into, he's in gear in the season, that's all that matters to me. That, that's what the off time is for. So I'm excited for Coop. I also, with the Eagles defense, I find it interesting how they used to say that Fangio never blitzed, and now he's like blitzing all over the place.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that too, that he's kind of incorporating it more because he wasn't known to be that like blitz guy. And I think there's more now. I knew the stat. Can't recall it at the second. There's more now than there were last season, and he just keeps increasing the blitz.
Well, no Nolan Smith, so that's a big loss there.
Yeah.
And they got
Dean's back. Though.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to get after the quarterback. So Fangio's being a little creative, but I'll tell you what, when you have a guy like Coop and Quinyon too, no disrespect, who just won
Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Player of the Week.
This dude's disgusting. What a draft it was for Howie Roseman. We're saying that. Jahad Campbell. He killed the guy in that game.
He's the one guy who is getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to watch this team play right now. All right. Your final thoughts for us here. You don't have to give us the prediction, but are you feeling like they remain perfect? Let's just say that.
I think they'll pull this one out.
Okay.
I do. I think they're going to win.
All right.
I think they're going to win.
So 10 a.m., you tune in right here. Well, you could tune in at 9 a.m. for the Green Legion radio show.
Of course.
Hosted by yours truly.
Yeah.
And then we lead right into Natalie with Breakfast Before the Birds, and she'll be joined by Roy Burton and John Jansen, and they'll close up shop and count down to payout.
Yes.
From 11 to 1. So we got your programming right here on The Gambler every Sunday. Now, if you would not mind, let's shift gears, Nat. Let's talk. Well, first of all, let me do this real quick. As we have another run on the board, the Detroit Tigers went yard and now have a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the sixth right now. So top of the sixth, they went yard. 2-1 lead. The Tigers are currently on top of the Guardians as we sit here.
Amazing.
2 more elimination games coming up this afternoon/evening. However, on Saturday, game 1, Dodgers and Phillies, Shohei Ohtani, who's unbelievable to watch. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Sanchez getting a start for the Phillies. How are we feeling, Nat? A lot of people are nervous. There's a lot of nervous energy I'm sensing right now.
I am not nervous.
Oh, wow.
I am less nervous than I was last year.
Confident?
I'm feeling pretty confident.
Really?
I'm feeling pretty
I'm
confident.
not getting that a lot on the timeline.
I'm feeling I'm feeling pretty confident. I feel like the Dodgers, we beat them. You know, we know how to beat the Dodgers. We just beat them in the last series.
Yeah.
And their bullpen is super flimsy right now. It's not super flimsy, but it's not as strong as they would need it to be. I think they had 6 players between the 2 games with the Reds, the 6 pitchers between the 2 games with the Reds to get that sweep done. So I think that we offensively, especially at the bottom of the lineup, really figured out how to get the momentum going towards the end of the summer into September. The Armando Sosa having that game, like we're seeing all these key components who for the past 3 years in the playoffs couldn't they couldn't hit. I don't know. There's a euphemism there. Couldn't hit anything. And I think that it'll be balanced, and we're home, and it's going to be great. I love Red October.
Love Red October. Nothing better. So I was thinking about this, and Sam, bring you in as well on this one, because you saw my text message to the group. Like, for me, I'm putting Harper to the side. I'm putting everybody to the side, and I'm focusing on the man who hit 56 bombs.
Yes.
And it comes down to Kyle Schwarber. Is that unfair? Is it fair? Because I think he is the most important piece for the Phillies to advance, the Phillies to do bigger things. I guess you could look at pitching no matter what. I get it. But if we're talking guys in the lineup day to day, I have to look at Schwarber above all. Schwarber has to have an unbelievable postseason. Has to.
I'm with you, but it's going to come down to the whole lineup. Like, Schwarber to keep that pace that he was in terms of the home run hits throughout the postseason, it's a little unrealistic. He has to be a power hitter for sure.
He was runner-up for the MVP, National League MVP. Hasn't been crowned yet. How come I tune in to Shohei Ohtani? He's hitting 2 home runs in a game. He's coming up with the big hits.
It's the Reds. It's not the pitching that the Phillies are going to show. It's not the pitching the Dodgers and those other opponents, if they advance, are going to show.
But do you think it's unfair?
I think Schwarber's important. He's definitely a key piece of the puzzle. He's been our best player all season.
Yeah.
Trey Turner also has to be the Trey Turner pre-injury. Like, he led the NL in batting average. He needs to get on base consistently. We need the October Bryce Harper that we've come to love in this city.
Yeah.
We need him to be great. Bryson Stott, to Natalie's point earlier, he's playing his best baseball heading into the postseason.
Yeah.
Guys like Harrison Bader, who's cooled off a little bit, but all those guys, it's going to have to come to lineup 5 through 9.
Yes.
It's going to be as important as anything. And that's when they really slipped up last season.
Exactly.
And the year before, against the Diamondbacks. If all 9 guys, it's really going to take the entire lineup to put bats together, put score and when runners are in scoring position. If they can do all that, then they'll be fine. But it's not just on 1 or 2 guys in this lineup. This whole lineup has to contribute.
I disagree. It's on Kyle Schwarber.
All of it on him. So if he doesn't perform, don't pay him. Right?
I think he's not going anywhere.
But
right?
because of, again, I think, I always go season to season and kind of look at their the peaks and valleys of the team. And the end of August into September last year, the Phillies were not great. They kind of were on the upswing,
right?
And Kyle, like, I know him, Kyle's momentum. I think that they're ready this year. I think that they're ready and can and will make the World Series.
I like it. Well, look, this is a tough start for the playoffs to open up. But we were talking about this earlier. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have versus the best competition that's out there. And that's American League and National League included.
Yeah.
The Phillies and Dodgers.
I think everyone around the league is looking at this series as the World Series.
Oh,
and look,
1000%.
anything can happen in any series.
Yeah, and there's going to be
whoever
a
wins
letdown.
this series.
There'll be a
is
letdown in
going
the
to win the series.
NLCS. The Brewers are going to beat either the Dodgers or the Phillies. Watch. It's just gonna,
the Brewers advance.
This statistic is one that I really like. Phillies posted highest OPS, slugging percentage, and home runs in the 7th inning and later in all the MLB.
They like to fight.
So I hate it. The Eagles are doing it too.
Yeah.
But
I think that's really important.
and because we're talking about the bullpen.
Exactly.
That's when the Phillies will be
because we might get down early because their starting pitch and Shohei might outperform Christopher Sanchez for sure, and Ranger and all those guys. But the bullpen, once you get into those late innings and the Dodgers bullpen's out there, we got to keep putting bats together. And how great they've been in those final 3 innings, like you just pointed out. There's reason for optimism, even if we're trailing through the first 5 innings.
Oh, I'm optimistic. I told you, glass is half full as always over here.
Yeah.
Let's go, Schwarber.
And Red October, the energy is just so different in the city.
So great.
And it's crisp out now.
It's still
crisp.
hot. Still a little hot out. It was like 70, sun was shining.
It's crisp.
It's getting
It's not summer weather, but
it's supposed to be 40 tonight.
Yes, woohoo!
Soft 40, yeah. I
miss
sweating my
summer.
ass
I
off
miss
yesterday. I'm not lying about
I'm ready for Christmas.
Don't take my heat away. Don't take my heat away from me.
It's funny. I will say this. I pulled up ESPN.com and it says which one player must deliver to put Philadelphia in the NLCS. It's not Bryce Harper. It's not Kyle Schwarber. It's not Sanchez. It's Trey Turner. So Sam Oster. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but that's all right. We'll go with that. All right. Nat, always great to get you on a Thursday.
Thanks. You guys are the best.
What do you got cooking up? What do you got cooking up and not breakfast before the birds?
Oh, well, so I'm actually heading out of here and I'm going to go to McGillen's.
Yes. Tell us about this.
Okay. So
forgot about this.
Many moons ago, probably 2023, I got this email and it's, hey, we're doing a documentary on McGillen's, which is the oldest bar in Philadelphia.
Love it.
Would you like to be a part of it? Because there's a picture that surfaced of myself.
Come on.
And Jason Kelsey.
At McGillen's.
At McGillen's from many, many moons ago.
But not,
I'm talking
not radio work, or is this out of
Oh
office?
no, we were both just there on
just
a Sunday
hanging.
night.
Okay.
This was 20 and we weren't there together, to be clear.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, me and my friends used to go there every Sunday night. Again, this was probably like my mid-20s.
Is this karaoke night?
It's karaoke Sunday night at
Are they
McGillen's.
Wednesdays too?
I think they still might do Wednesdays,
Our
but
guy Beef sings karaoke down
on
at McGillen's
Sunday
Sunday
nights.
nights.
So it's one of my favorite pastimes.
Okay.
I don't I'm not there as much
How many
as I
days
used
does it
to.
take you to recover after Sunday
Oh.
nights at McGillen's?
Now, Wednesday. Wednesday, I would
still
resurface.
sweating on Wednesdays, like,
Yeah.
oh man, I gotta go to work.
But me and my friends, I guess in my late 20s, we had like a stretch. And this was when, it was like the Jason Kelsey, Connor Barwin was still on the team. Those guys would just be out and about. Bo Allen, they'd just be bouncing around downtown. And the one night we were all at McGillen's and everyone's singing and it was a good time. So that picture was on the internet and the McGillen's people reached out to me. I said, I've been going there since I turned 21. So my official title, it seems, in the documentary is sports media personality and green beer enthusiast.
Yes.
So with these things, you never know what they're going to put as the interview. So I'm excited to see how it comes out.
The premieres tonight?
Yeah, the premieres tonight.
At McGillen's?
At McGillen's.
Oh,
so
that's great.
I'm
can we
thankful to be
watch
a part of it. I'm going to find all that out.
Okay.
I don't have that information yet. But I'm hoping that maybe a link or who knows, maybe it'll be on like Netflix or something. I don't know.
Bring some green beer back with you.
I
all right?
will.
Let's go.
I will.
It's funny that you saw Jason Kelsey there because I also saw Jason Kelsey there.
Yeah.
But probably 3 years ago, like pretty soon after, right before he really blew up.
Yeah.
He was just walking down.
Yeah.
He was at the upstairs. Obviously, had his own private areas, walking down. And my buddy actually knows his wife really well. So he went up and talked to him for a little bit. But he just walked in and out of that place. And this was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
To think about the security he has with him now. I saw him recently at Villanova for the Roommates podcast. He has an entire team of security.
Well,
now.
remember what happened at Penn
Everyone's,
State.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of incidents, but he is just on a whole nother stratosphere of superstar now compared to like 3 years ago. And he was just walking around McGillen's. It's crazy the trajectory he's been on.
I know, but these were the good old days when we were all just one and the same, drinking green beer and singing on the microphone.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
So I love a Silver Springs.
Wow.
Silver
Strong.
Springs.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Nice.
Yeah. Silver Springs, Fleetwood Mac. Or I'll do, I have another one, but it's kind of obscure.
What is
It's called Different Drum by the Stone Ponies, Linda Ronstadt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pull.
Yeah, I
Don't know
Sean,
it, but I'm not in the
you
head
think
yet.
you think it's just sports. I'm like a music gal too.
What
so
about Unwritten? I was talking about someone the other day.
No.
We're both like, no, you don't like
no,
Unwritten?
that song was played out when I was in college,
Well,
2009.
I guess my era still likes
I don't
it.
know.
Oh,
what
your
Unwritten
era
is.
loves
We
it.
love that. Clearly, you don't
You
like
do.
it.
What's Unwritten? Who's
The
it by?
rest is still unwritten. This is why I talk and don't sing.
But,
Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, okay.
You've heard it. It's like
Yeah.
a classic. ball
Gotcha.
song.
All right.
Classic.
Yeah.
Natalie's clearly not a fan.
No.
It was look, it's a great song, but
Overplayed.
it was played out when I was in college.
That's
So.
like Mr. Brightside for me.
Yes, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I still jam it. All right, Nat, have fun down at McGillen's.
Thank
Can't wait to
you.
hear more about it on Sunday. Breakfast before the birds
Woohoo.
every Sunday right here on The Gambler. The great Natalie EGENOLF. Of
Thank
course,
you.
Roy Burton, John Jantz will be holding it down as well this Sunday. So make sure you tune in and check us out on The Gambler for your Sunday consumption. All right. A man who knows what to do on a microphone, especially at McGillen's karaoke style, Luke ARCAINI. We'll talk some Phillies deep dive, Phils and Dodgers on the other side. More after this.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about it. It's The Gambler.
The Bonus Bucks Cash Contest is back. That's right. Every weekday, we're dropping code words and your shot to score a quick stack of bonus bucks. Hear it, text it, and you could be counting cash before the day's over. It's easy to play. Big money on the line. 9 times a day, top of the hour. Hear the keyword, and you could win $1,000. Your shot at bonus bucks all fall long right here on The Gambler.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement. iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Make your next gathering unforgettable at Randall's Restaurant in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. From intimate birthday dinners to corporate meetings, we're now booking private events for groups of 10 or more. Exceptional food, personalized service, perfect for any occasion. Reserve your private party today at randallslegacy.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Prime Big Deal Days are happening on October 7th and 8th with savings up to 40% off. This is your chance to grab that item you've been thinking about. It's Prime Big Deal Days, coming soon, October 7th and 8th.
Partly cloudy overnight and another chilly one with temperatures falling back into the 40s for the surrounding suburbs of Philadelphia, while the city pulls back to about 53 degrees. That would be a degree cooler than we were early this morning. And then sunshine and high clouds to round out the week on Friday. Seasonably warm 74 with the 80s returning over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
It's your Thursday Sports Minute brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Week 5 of the NFL kicks off tonight in Los Angeles with the Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams 3-1, but the 49ers really banged up. No quarterback Brock Purdy. He is out with a toe injury. Mac Jones will get the start under center. The offense even more banged up without wide receivers Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, both out tonight with injuries as well. The Rams have shot up to an 8.5-point home favorite. Over under total points now 48.5. New to BetMGM? Sign up today using code MINUTE to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for full terms. 21 plus to wager. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Promotions vary by market. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And that's your Thursday Sports Minute.
Football season is back, yes, but off the field, life can hit even harder at times. Car wreck, slip and fall, work injuries, yeah, they all happen. Don't sit on the sideline after being injured, though. Only one person to call. Call attorney Big Al, 1-800-HURT-123. Big Al gets the job done, and he picks up 24/7. Big Al brings the heat both on and off the field, and he wins. That's the most important part. One more time, 1-800-HURT-123. Call Big Al today.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what's to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See You Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Hiroki Sasaki sets and fires. Soft liner to short. Betts is there. That's a win for LA. The Dodgers are going to the National League Division Series. The Dodgers are going to Philadelphia as they move on in their quest to run it back in 2025.
Let's go. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Dodgers and Phillies game 1 coming your way either 6:08 or 6:38 p.m. on Saturday evening. Joining us right now on the Gambler stream. He covers the Phillies for us here on the Gambler and does a great job for the folks over at crossingbroad.com as well. Luke ARCAINI. And Luke, I have to update this. The boys have blown it open. The Dodgers
are about to roll past the Guardians here in game 3, do or die. It is now 5-1, top of the 7th, runners on first and third, 1 out for the Tigers. Had him in the series, took him for game 3, and let's do it again. Another base hit, 6-1, Tigers on top. Everybody was buying the Guardians, and I understand why. They were hot coming in. But when you roll Scooble out there for game 1 and all you have to do is win 2, yeah, I like the Tigers' chances. Credit to the Guardians forcing 3 here. But all in all, this was an easy wager, and I don't say that often. So let's go, Tigers.
Brace, making the boys some money.
Let's go.
There's Tigers.
Hey. All right. Enough of the Tigers. Let's talk Padres and Cubs, though. Do you have a take for us on the Padres and Cubs? Because for my money, it was a flip of a coin, Luke. I just was saying to myself that, I like the Cubs. I like the defense, but I won't be shocked if the Padres win game 3 today.
I don't have a take on the game. My only take is whoever wins today's game beats the Brewers.
I like that.
I think whoever wins today probably beat Brewers. I just don't think the Brewers can pitch. They have a Jose Quintana and they have a Jacob Mizorowski who's never pitched in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't love the Brewers. I think they play very good fundamental baseball. But I don't think fundamental baseball wins you a championship. I think
no, got to hit bombs.
Yeah, I think hitting bombs and being able to pitch can probably win. And granted, I don't think the Cubs can pitch either. That's why I think I give the Padres a better shot to beat the Brewers and the Cubs. But that's about it. I don't know. I'm not scared of any 3 of these teams left on the other side because I think the best 2 teams left in the postseason are about to play on Saturday at either 6:08 or 6:38.
Yep, you're right. Let's talk about those Dodgers and Phillies here. And of course, I think a lot of people out there, and myself included to a point, I know he's pitched better. But Shohei Ohtani's been electric. He's been insane his last 4 starts, 19 2/3 innings, only 1 run, 27 strikeouts, 4 walks. He's been pretty damn good as advertised these last 4 starts. And the ramping up period is officially over. He's not on any restrictions pitching or pitches or innings. And I fully expected that. But at the same time, he is a superstar. You never know. But the key to this game 1/series for my money, Luke, is you got to get to the bullpen. Easier said than done with a starting pitcher like Shohei Ohtani, but he's going number 3 in the rotation. Your expectations for game 1, where are we at? And do you agree with me? The key for the Phillies to win this game 1, win this series, is get to the Dodgers bullpen.
Yeah. Game 1's the biggest game of this series. The Phillies this year, and there's been a stat thrown around from a few different guys over the last few weeks. It's kind of been counted all season and noted because it's so glaring. When the Phillies have won game 1 of a series this year, they've won 30 series. When they've lost game 1, they've won 5 series. You have to win game 1 of this series. If you drop a home, granted, the old saying, if you're the lower seed, you take one of the first 2 games, that home field advantage is gone. You're good. But game 1 is more important than game 2 to me. You have to go out there and set the tone. I understand it's Ohtani. I understand it's, Freddie Freeman in the bank and a hot Mookie Betts coming off the wild card and a really good September for Mookie. But the Phillies don't have the, excuse anymore. They have the deepest lineup they've had. They have probably the better bullpen that they've had over the last 3-4 years. And they have, it's crazy to say, they probably have the hottest pitching rotation they've had in the playoffs, even without Zach Wheeler. Sanchez has proven himself as an ace. He gets to go out there and do it on Saturday. Place is going to be insane. And if you go out there Saturday and you lay a dud with a crowd that you're going to get on Saturday, that might be the craziest crowd you've seen at Citizens Bank over the last 4 years on Saturday. Shohei Ohtani's first ever playoff start on the mound at Citizens Bank. It's going to be absurd over there. And you just have to set the tone. You have to go out there. I don't care if you win 1-0 or if you win 14-0. You just have to find a way to win. And I think they're in a pretty good spot too. The guys looked loose Wednesday night at the inner squad. I think they're ready. Everyone's healthy. Harper obviously went yard. But, game one's the biggest game of their season so far. And it's crazy because I think you could go to game 2 and say game 2 is the biggest season and game 3. And I think people say that every series, but I truly think game 1 is going to be the biggest game that they play this entire series. Because you just have to go out there and you have to set the freaking tone.
Luke, not to be negative Ned over here.
Here we go.
But I do want to talk about the starting pitching. And we know how great they've been. I mean, even without Zach Wheeler, like maybe the best starting rotation in the league. And like you were talking about, Christopher Sanchez has turned into a legitimate one and legitimate ace in this league. But is it a little different when you get to the postseason? Like Christopher Sanchez does not have an extensive postseason history. Even when you go down to like Jesus Luzardo, who's going to go game 3 in all likelihood, he doesn't have a ton of postseason experience. Is there any concern? Because we've seen aces falter in the postseason before. Clayton Kershaw, even our own Aaron Nola has had great regular seasons and sometimes been a little worse in the postseason. Is there any concern that not a lot of postseason history could end up biting Christopher Sanchez when he takes the mound in game 1?
I think it's always there. I think if you have a guy in Sanchez who's only made a handful of postseason starts, 1 or 2. I think it's there. But granted, this is also Shohei Ohtani's first start in the postseason. He's never pitched in the playoffs as a starter. So I think it can sort of go both ways there. But I think what I've seen and what I think makes me confident from the pitching side is that the guys that the Phillies are throwing out, have proven that they want the moment. They haven't proven that they can rise in the moment, I think, other than Ranger. They haven't proven that yet just because they haven't really been there a ton. But these guys have proven that they want it. Sanchez battled in the postseason last year and is coming off the best season of his career. He's probably going to finish second in Cy Young. If they cared any bit about team success in the Cy Young, he would win it. Jesus Luzardo, every time that he's gotten into a big game regular season, he pitched better and better. If you go look at Luzardo's stats against playoff teams versus non-playoff teams, it's pretty insane. He's a lot better against better teams. He's an emotional guy on the mound, and I think that can really help in a postseason setting. And then obviously I think we all know the postseason history from Ranger Suarez. I mean, the guy has one of the lowest going into last postseason. He had one of the lowest ERAs in the history of baseball in the postseason with a minimum of I think like 30 innings. So, I mean, yes, I think it'll always be there, just because you don't have a Zach Wheeler and a prime Aaron Nola going out there. But I think these guys have proven that they want the ball. And I trust the guys that have shown you all year that they want the ball in the postseason rather than the opposite.
Yeah, look, I would say my biggest concern going into game 1 for Christopher Sanchez, and I'm going to answer my own concern here, is if he would be too hyped, too over, fired up, right? The emotions, and all of a sudden he's not able to, his off-speed pitch isn't really an off-speed pitch, that sort of deal. I don't have that, worry. I think Christopher Sanchez is a very even-keeled dude. Has the All-Star game experience correct this year. So I think that's going to help out a little bit maybe. But, and on the flip side, unfortunately, I think Shohei Ohtani is a guy that keeps his emotions in check too as well. So I don't think, the either starting pitcher is going to be bothered. What are we feeling like as far as offense is concerned? And when we look at the numbers, Luke, again, I don't think too many people are caring about this sort of deal, but we are a sports gambling show. 7.5. Do we think that this is going to be a knock them down, drag them out type game 1 where it's tight 3-2? Or do we see an offense get going? I tend to believe that we're going to see some runs scored in game 1.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I tend to lean towards the up there on the 7.5. I just think, I think both pitchers are great. I think everyone knows that. But I think there's also two really good lineups on the other side of that. And
Really?
I mean, you saw what the Dodgers did to those red starters. And granted, the fact that Zach Littell was pitching in a postseason game tells you all you need to know about the Cincinnati Reds. But they knocked around Hunter Green a little bit. The Phillies have hit Dodgers pitching pretty well. And I think it goes back into the Dodgers bullpen conversation. And, if the Dodgers were to get an early lead, say a 2-1, 3-1 early lead, but Ohtani gets out of there fairly early, I like the Phillies' chances against the Dodgers bullpen. So I would tend to lean towards the over there in this game one. I think both pitchers are great once again, but I think this could be one of those games where, it could be 1-0 through the first 4 or 5 innings. And then all of a sudden it just boom goes. Second Sanchez gets out. And then Ohtani gets out of there. I think these guys can go. So I would tend to lean towards the over rather than the under. Yeah.
It's funny. I just thought to myself, how it's going to be in that ballpark. I will be there on Saturday. Very, very lucky
in there.
Yeah. Well, if they go 5 innings of scoreless baseball, I think the fans are going to go absolutely berserk. They will boo. They will boo.
Here's the thing. If Phillies, and you can post this on any social media you want, if Phillies fans boo after 5 innings of Christopher Sanchez shutout baseball, not a single.
I was saying the other way. If Shohei is shutting out the Phillies,
I don't think they'll boo.
I'm telling you right now, their fan base is going to get out.
Wait, hold on. If it's a 0-0 game, you think they'll boo?
No, not 0-0. I wasn't even putting into the equation.
Every single one of those fans should be kicked out if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going off of the history with this team in postseason. I feel like this fan base is just no, it's unacceptable. Get after it. Be aggressive.
I think look,
they're gonna. That's the different. Yeah, that's the different vibe with this team right here, right now. It's not about manufacturing runs. It's not about station to station. It's give me the bombs. It's get Kyle Schwarber up to the dish. It's get one of the hottest sticks in the game and Trey Turner to the plate. Bryce Harper, we know what he's capable of. That's what this is all about. With that being said, Luke, bring it over to the question that I asked Natalie earlier, and I feel like, come on, man, 56 in a regular season, and we were, beating the drum for your NL MVP chances. We always knew Shohei is going to win it, and that's fine. But Kyle Schwarber could very well have been the NL MVP, bar none, the MVP of this Phillies team. So here we are. I see Shohei Ohtani lighting it up, hitting 2 home runs in the game, coming up with big base hits. I have the same damn expectations for Kyle Schwarber. I'm sure he does as well. So I'm not saying anything out of order. For my money, he is the most important piece for the Phillies to win this series versus the Dodgers. You could throw pitching in there, but let's say for this conversation, take the pitching out of it. Where do you stand on that one? Who's the most important batter player for you in this series?
Yeah, I disagree with you a little bit. I don't think it's Schwarber. And I think it's 5 through 9 in the lineup. I think it's the 5 through 9 hitters. And really, I'm going to get to my lineup prediction in a few minutes, but if my prediction is right, then it's 4 through 9. Kyle Schwarber led off last year's NLDS Game 1 against the Mets with an absolute nuke off of Senga. Phillies lost that game. Kyle Schwarber led off Game 7 of the NLCS against the Diamondbacks with an absolute nuke. The Phillies lost that game.
Damn.
Kyle Schwarber can hit. Kyle Schwarber can hit however he wants. If the production top to bottom is not there, I think the last 3 years have proven is that 2 sluggers can't slug your way to a World Series. Bryce Harper is top 10 all time in postseason OPS. The Phillies haven't won a World Series. Kyle Schwarber is in the top 20 of that stat. Dodgers last year. Shohei Ohtani last year in the playoffs hit 230 with a 760 OPS, and the Dodgers won the World Series. It's because they got production from a Kike Hernandez, from a Max Muncy, from an Andy Pajes, from guys like that. You need 5 through 9 to hit. And luckily, the 5 through 9 guys are actually the ones hitting the most right now, at least off of September. Alec Boehm, 17 for 37 over his final 9 games. Marsh hit 340 in September. Stott hit 313 with 4 homers. Stott is top 10 in the league in OPS since, I believe it's July 24th, which was the birth of his second son. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball over then. It comes down to the depth. And yes, obviously, if Kyle Schwarber goes 0 for 13 in the NLDS, they're not going to win the series. But,
hey, look at what Aaron Judge is doing with the Yankees.
Well, Aaron Judge is one of the biggest postseason frauds of all time. That's probably why.
Pretty alarming.
So that's what it really comes down to for me. Your Harrison Baders, your Brandon Marshes, your right fielder, whether that's Kepler or Castellanos. And I do want to get into that a little bit because the Phillies have been playing Kepler against righties in right field, which I think has been the right move. See, I think we know how the last few months have gone for Nick Castellanos, and it's actually been the opposite for Max Kepler. He's really hit the ball well over the last, I would say, like 2 or 3 months. But Nick Castellanos in 12 NLDS games with the Phillies, 396 average with 19 hits, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 8 runs scored in 12 NLDS games. For some reason, Nick Castellanos goes crazy in the NLDS. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the team. Both years it was against the Braves, so maybe that's it. But there's something there to that. I don't know. I still believe that Max Kepler will be in right field on Saturday starting over Nick Castellanos. But part of me also sits there and says, I think there's a possibility that if the Kepler thing goes south early, I think you could see an early hook. And even if they threw a righty out there in game 2, I think that could potentially maybe be a Nick Castellanos start.
All right, we'll continue with that thought, because I did want to ask you what your expectations are for the outfield and for the lineup in game 1 here, as we will get that lineup, of course, coming up on Saturday. But if you had to look into your crystal ball, where are you at right now, Luke? And I've had few discussions over the last few weeks about Castellanos. He has had some good runs in the postseason. But we have to be fair. He's also had some bad runs in the postseason. So I don't want to make him out to be Barry Bonds. I also don't think it's that bad of a deal if he's coming off the bench to be a pinch hitter. Like, I'm sure there's some numbers that are going to be thrown back in my face on that. But I think Castellanos in a pinch hitting role is somebody that you can probably get up there, and you know what? If he comes up with that base hit, that could lead to a little bit more of a spark. I get that vibe from Casty. So I don't think it's all it ends badly if Casty isn't starting this game, but people disagree with me on that one. We'll see what happens. Your thoughts, though?
Yeah. My biggest thing with Castellanos is that no matter how he's hitting, either regular season or postseason, he's never afraid of the moment. Whether it's the World Series. Listen, he might not have a good World Series, but he's not going to be afraid of going up and hitting the baseball. There's some guys over the past years. I mean, for example, Boehm last year. I thought Boehm was scared of the moment last year, and I think that's partially why he got benched. Castellanos, I don't feel that way. So in a pinch hitting role, if the Dodgers go to a lefty in the 5th inning and the Phillies get Shohei Ohtani out somehow in the 5th inning and they go to a lefty reliever and it's set to have Max Kepler up, Nick Castellanos is going to be hitting there. And he's going to be in right field for the rest of the game. So I think that's kind of where it's at with Casty. I still think Kepler will start on Saturday just because what they've been doing has been working. But if there's one thing about Castellanos, he's never afraid of the moment. And I'll tell you this, he's never afraid to swing the bat either. And when you're in the playoffs, I understand, everyone's favorite word this time of year is, the Phillies chase rate. That's their favorite saying. I'd rather guys chase than go up there and look at a called third strike right down the middle. So Castellanos isn't afraid of the moment, and whether he's in there or not, he's going to get some important at-bats, whether it's as a starter or as a pinch hitter.
Well, I will just say this. I think the year's 2022. I could be mistaken on that, but the Phillies have the most postseason games played in major leagues since that time. It could be 2022, 2023. Yeah, something like that. But
probably.
I'm not afraid of any of these guys from the Phillies' perspective to be afraid of the moment, to be honest. I'm not
either. I think Bohm last year. I think Alec Bohm last year is a lot different player than Bohm was this year. Alec Bohm was going through a horrendous second half skid last year, and I think that carried over into the playoffs, and it just didn't favor him at all.
I want Aaron Dolan getting doused with champagne, Luke.
Something.
That's what I want.
Something.
Last year's skid.
I don't think she's responsible because, well, yeah, it did happen last year. Who knows? He put it together. Look, it's a different animal. It's a different animal out there. Saw a guy drop a ball in center field for the Guardians yesterday.
Yeah, because the Guardians. Because the Guardians are life or death, and they have to have a guy make his MLB debut in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series. That center fielder for them yesterday. That was his first ever Major League Baseball game.
To be fair to Bohm and to Luke's point too, it's like, maybe the moment was too big for him. He also was really bad down the stretch of last season. We were having conversations in the offseason whether we were going to trade him or not up until the deadline. So it's like it wasn't just he was playing really good baseball. He stepped up to the playoff plate and then started folding. He was really bad down the stretch, and that cold streak led over into the playoffs and his eventual benching.
There's a lot to like about this team right now, and it's just they're going to need everything. All systems have to be go to beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers are now the favorite to win it all, rightfully so. We knew that would be the case. We knew that they were going to handle the Reds 2-0. They did, and here we are. And I know everybody's saying the same thing. Like, this should be something different. Should be the CS. I don't give a damn. Like, bring it on. Let's go.
Yeah, I wish it was. And I'm not even saying that because I wish it was the NLCS. I'm saying that because I wish this was a 7-game series. Okay. This matchup deserves to be 7 and not 5. But
are you under the same camp that I think Sean and myself are, and a lot of baseball fans around the league, that this is the World Series? I mean, anything can happen. Yeah. We saw the collapse against the Dodgers, but this is the World Series. Whoever wins this series will be the eventual World Series champion.
I agree. Yeah, I think whoever wins this series is going to win the World Series. It's going to be a war, man. Like I don't have any other word, verb, adjective, whatever for it. This is going to be an all-out war. I think this series goes 5, and it's going to be. I think Game 5 is going to be a nail biter. I think every inning is going to be a nail biter. We are going to want to rip our hair out at parts of this series. We're going to go nuts at parts of this series, but. Once again, I think Saturday, not tomorrow, is the biggest game of their season. Whether this goes 5, 4, 3, anything. I think Game 1 is the biggest.
I'm going to do my part down there, especially pregame.
Please.
Live from the tailgate. Got Penn State football on the TV. We're hanging out in the parking lot. Beautiful. Oh, my God. We got San Diego weather outside right now today, the next day, the next day, the next day after that. 75.
Talk about frauds.
Good pull, San Diego.
Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State is.
Would Games 5 be Saturday, Luke?
Yes. So Game 1 Saturday. Game 2 is Monday. They have an off day Tuesday.
And Wednesday, Thursday, yeah.
Off day Tuesday. Game 3 and 4 Wednesday, Thursday. Off day Friday. Game 5, if necessary, would be on Saturday. But hey, one game at a time. One game at a time right now. Yeah. That's all they can do. I did sort of throw together a lineup of how I think they're going to roll out Saturday.
All right.
So I have Trey leading off, obviously playing short. Rob Thompson said the second Trey is healthy. He's back in the leadoff spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. I completely agree with them.
Philadelphia. That's like the song that's playing right now as we're going through the lineup here. That says in Main Park.
Schwarber hitting second DH, obviously. Harper hitting third, first base. I think Alec Bohm's going to hit fourth to start this series. I think they're going to ride a hot September. And I think it's probably their best option based off of right-handed bats as of right now. Granted, if if Bader goes out and goes 3 for 4 and Bohm comes out and goes 0 for 5, then I think game 2 they could switch things around. But I have Alec Bohm hitting 4th. I have Marsh hitting 5th playing left. I have Harrison Bader hitting 6th playing center. I have Real Muto obviously behind the plate 7th. Max Kepler I do have in right field hitting 8th, and Bryson Stott playing 2nd, hitting 9th. That's kind of where I'm at. I think the only potential switches there are if they were to play Casty. I still don't think that's going to happen. But maybe they flip Bader JT, but I don't think having Bader hit 7th is a great idea. I think he should be up in the 6th hole.
So
but that's
4
really
through 9 in your lineup, Luke, are all those guys' leashes really short? Is that kind of what you're saying? Where if Bohm struggles, he could be out of that 4 spot.
Yes.
If Kepler struggles, he could be gone. It sounds like you're saying that all those guys, 1, 2, 3 is decided. 4 through 9, those guys are going to have really short leashes in the postseason.
I think Kepler has a game leash, and I think Bohm has a spot in a lineup leash. And I think they're both very short. If Max Kepler goes out there and goes 0 for 5 and strikes out 4 times and they lose game 1 and they play a righty in game 2, that's going to be Nick Castellanos' spot, I think, in right. Bohm, I think once again, I think they're going to continue to ride Bohm in the 4 hole unless some other right-handed hitter gets really hot, like a Bader or a JT. I think those are really your only 2 options unless they play Castellanos and they think about putting Castellanos there. But that 4 spot is big. What you get from Bohm or Casty or JT or Bader, whoever hits in that 4 hole, is so big because Schwarber and Harper are going to do their thing. They always do. But it's not all going to be home runs, and you're going to have to get those guys in. They've struggled with it in the past. They've had to put Castellanos into the 4 hole last NLDS because Bohm was flaring all over the place. They've run into issues with driving in Harper and Schwarber in the postseason in the past because they haven't really had a true cleanup hitter. Alec Bohm's not a cleanup hitter. He hits 13 home runs a year. So it's big from them. Alec Bohm could not hit a single home run this entire postseason. If he finds the gap like Alec Bohm does, that's all you need him to do there.
Well, we got some interesting stuff happening out there in Cleveland, 6-1, and Cleveland has some action happening right now on the base path on the bottom of the 8th. We'll keep you updated there. They're scoreless out there in Wrigley.
Kwan got a hit. Yes, he did.
Steven Kwan just came through with a double right there.
We moved to the Cubs game. There we go.
Let me ask you this. We'll close up shop on this one so people aren't bothering you the day of the game. Who are you looking at from the same game parlay standpoint? What are we looking at? Who's going to have a day?
Man.
Who's going to have a day versus Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Sean. Schwarber. Schwarber home run.
Lefty. Schwarber home run.
Schwarber home run. Harper home run.
Wow, dude.
I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna happen off of Shohei. I don't know if it's gonna happen off of a reliever. I think one of those guys goes yard, and I think both of them might. I do. And if
I think
they
might collapse if
Sean, if somebody goes yard in the first inning of that game for the Phillies,
yeah,
I bet my life they win game 1.
Well, I mean, I'm with you.
Maybe not.
I was there last year. I was there last year at the NLDS game 1 when you referenced it earlier. Schwarber went yard, and that place went bananas. And we thought it was going to be a nice game 1 win. Didn't end up that way. It's definitely very different vibes around.
If Schwarber comes out after a 56 home run season and Shohei Ohtani's first inning ever pitching in the playoffs, Schwarber takes him deep, that place is going to explode. Absolutely explode.
I got goosebumps thinking about it.
I hope, man. I hope.
Darvish already pulled. Got 3 outs. Yeah, he's already out.
Already?
It's just 3 outs and starts. Yep. Out after recording three outs. I mean, look, it's do or die. Cubbies are up 1, and I believe it's bases loaded right now. All right, let's keep it moving.
What inning are they in? Sorry, I just missed that.
Second.
What inning? God, they pulled him in the 2nd inning.
I think so.
Man, I couldn't imagine having 8 innings of guys off your bench to throw
Hey, dude,
right
I don't say
now.
bases are loaded with nobody out. Yeah, you got to pull him. You can't sit on
Can
that.
you imagine pulling a Ranger after one inning in a must-win game right now?
Sad.
It's bizarre.
Terrible.
You guys
Luke,
got a score prediction for Saturday or what?
Saturday, I will go somewhere around the lines of like 5-2, 6-3. So I'll say 6-3.
I'm close.
I
I'm
like
5-3 Phils.
Yeah, I'll take the over. Over 7.5. I can get there at
Five-
5-3.
What did you say, Sam? 5-3?
5-3 Phils.
I'm going to go 6-3. 6-3 Phils. I like that. So we all have the over. And we all
Fireworks,
have the
yep.
Phillies win. I love it.
Oh, dude, ain't no one picking against them. Come on, man. All right, Daily Ticket
Give me a
rolling on.
war.
You're the best. We'll we'll ride off into Saturday because I am golfing tomorrow. So I am taking a
Ooh.
day. Oh yeah.
I played
19.
today. I played 9 today.
Can't wait. I'm so excited. I got a fresh we got the outing coming up. Swinging and dinging outing
Swinging
on
and
the
dinging.
20th. Let's
Oh,
go. So
swinging and dinging outing also is, I have to pull up the calendar one
you
second.
better not have anything going on. You've been on the team
I
for a
don't have
while.
I don't have anything going on during the day, but that is a potential game 6 of the NLCS that night. So we could if the Phillies beat the Dodgers and their NLCS gets to a 6 game, could go swinging and dinging open right into a Phillies NLCS game. Potential clincher.
Game 6 going to be at home or
It would be,
away?
yeah. It would
It's
be
going to
at
be home.
Yeah.
Versus the Brewers.
Home
What
game.
What if the other team wins? The who the hell the Brewers playing?
Doesn't matter. The Brewers.
It's on the road. If
Brewers
it's the
on the
other
road.
two teams,
Gotcha.
it's at home.
Yeah.
Or
If
the
it's Brewers, it would be in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Something to keep our hey. No
We're
matter
really getting ahead of ourselves
no
here.
matter
Game
what,
6 NLCS.
no matter what, you're on the swinging and dinging team.
Oh, no,
I
I'll
ain't
be there.
messing around. I got my guy Fresh. I got Luke Arcani. We got
Yeah,
two.
who are we playing with?
Colin is good, and I'm a guy that can hit a couple shots every once in a while. And definitely
Game feels good. Game feels good. The handicap's down under 6 now, so we're moving.
We're coming for it. We're coming for the crown. All right.
What do you guys get?
Handicap went down to a 5.7 today.
I'm cutting this up and I'm sending it to Moose. I'll tell you right now, what do you get? No, this is the best outing that you could play in. I promise you. I've played in.
It is the best.
And the fact is, there is so much going on, so much to win, so much activations happening, and it's a damn good time. It's not cutthroat, but
It's
man,
a great course too.
oh, unbelievable course out
What
there.
course?
The Legacy Club,
Club.
yeah, in
Nice.
Cherry Hill. Looking forward to it. Swinging and dinging. Check them out. All right, Luke,
Right
you're
in
the
my
best.
neck of the woods.
You're damn right.
Yes, sir.
Got to order an Uber. You're the best. I'll catch up.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Yeah, we are. That's the group because we're coming from Conchi essentially.
Yeah.
Hell, Fresh is coming from Malvern.
That's a trip.
Oh man. So we were like, what are we doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm not driving, that's for sure. And I'm like, might even get a hotel room over there, but who knows?
Have you when you just said Malvern made me think of this. Have you seen this new show Task, HBO?
I heard about
You gotta
it.
watch it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable show.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Mayor of Easttown?
Yes.
Same creator of
Yeah.
that. Also takes place in Delco area,
Yeah.
out by Malvern.
Who's the actor in it? The dude?
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, he's money.
Yep, he's amazing. And then the other guy, I'm forgetting his name, but he's awesome too. Amazing show.
Did you see he was at the Eagles game?
Yeah, he was.
Do you see how small he is?
Yeah, he's tiny.
All those actors.
And
are
the other
tiny.
guy, who's the other co-star, is like a diehard Giants fan, so he refused to wear Eagles gear.
Oh.
But it's an unbelievable show. You got to watch it.
Oh, wow.
That was an awful error.
Dude. Got him though.
They have
Oh,
life.
safe.
How many guys scored there too?
6-3. My goodness, dude. Well, he's upset that the ball was thrown so hard at him. All right, so the pitcher, a ground ball to first baseman for the Tigers throws it over to the pitcher covering first base, and he had some mustard on it, no lie, but you got to catch the ball, and he doesn't. He doesn't catch it. Rolls over to the screen. 2-run score. We got 6-3. So now that is over. Watch this. Watch the first baseman. He fires it.
Still got to catch that ball.
Dude,
I
come
could
on,
catch that
man.
ball.
Look at the first
That's an
baseman. It's like,
awful
dude,
error.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, it hit him in the head.
That's in his glove, and it just
Vest.
gets his eye off the ball and it goes right into his dome.
Dude, playoff baseball. Playoff baseball will chew you up and spit you out. Got him. He's out at second, though. So how many outs is that?
2. Dose.
Is he the third out? Because he's out. He's out. So that's it. That'll put an end to the inning, which is a big deal because if they got this other run, anything is possible there. 6-3. It's 2 outs. Yep. So he's three outs.
That call, even though he's clearly
he's
safe.
out. So all right. So he's gone. 6-3 right now. Bottom or heading to the top of the ninth. All right, Sam, this is a fun show. Speaking of Mark Ruffalo, one of my favorite movies, and it comes from how good the media is at, and I know we refuse to even
newspaper movie.
Think about it. Yeah, as far as like the big bad media, and I'm right there with you. I can't stomach CNN, MSNBC, or Fox. I can't stomach those three. If you remove those three, that's fine. But when people start talking ill about the media, I get super, super frustrated because I have been in newsrooms where people work their ass off, and it ain't about, telling people, no, these are people that are covering the local stories for you and your community. Like, you want to live in a world without media? Knock yourself out. That goes meteorologists.
Someone's trying to do that.
I know that. Yeah, exactly.
I should say.
Yeah, well, we can all connect the dots.
Fair media.
Bottom line is this. I always get on my soapbox at the end of these shows with you. I don't know why.
I want to eat, man.
But
I haven't
the
eaten in 24 hours.
Spotlight
yes,
is a great
I was trying
movie.
to think of the name. I was waiting for you to say
movie.
Spotlight's an unbelievable.
You need to watch it if
One
you
of my
haven't.
favorite
Oh,
movies.
it's tremendous. So good. And that's why the media is needed for stuff like that, where people are trying to bury things. And it's like, wait a minute. You get people paid to do their job. I'm shutting up. Let's keep it moving here. Daily Ticket, fun stuff. Sam, great job across the board. Super jam-packed day today. We had Luke ARCAINI deep dive Phillies Dodgers. NATALIE EGENOLF talking about her show Breakfast for the Birds, heard right here at 10 a.m. every Sunday. She's cooking up bison burgers. How come you don't cook up bison burgers?
I can't cook like that. I can do chicken, rice, salmon, pasta.
I
That's
got
about it.
chicken marinated right now.
Nice.
A little soy.
I mean, you realize I haven't eaten in 24 hours and you're talking about food right now.
Yeah, so
we got to get at it.
When do you get to eat?
The second I leave this place.
So your fast started when?
Like around 6, 7 last night.
There's no
I don't usually fast too, but I haven't eaten a
So there's no like certain time that you guys
sundown to sundown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
All right.
But I'm gonna eat when I get out of here.
All right.
I don't usually do this. This is a first for me.
Do what?
Fast.
Oh, all right.
You're supposed to, but I don't usually do it.
And Sam is working. He's a guy that's never stopped working on Yom Kippur.
Yes.
What is Yom Kippur, if you could break that down for me?
It's the holiest day of the year. It's like the day you repent. That's where you don't fast. That's why you fast.
Gotcha.
And why you don't eat anything, because you're repenting for everything that you've done the last year. And it's just.
Do you have a lot to repent for?
Yeah, you could say that. Okay. maybe a thing or two. Maybe a thing or two.
We get honesty over here on this show. I love it. All right. Well, enjoy some grub. What are you going to get?
I don't know. There's some food at home for me. I may stop at Qdoba, though.
Oh, there you go. Did you say Qdoba?
Qdoba. How do you say it?
Qdoba?
It's a Q. What do you mean Qdoba? It's a Q.
Wait, how do you get Q when you say K? That's a C.
Yeah, Q's can make that sound.
All right, yeah, I guess.
Like QAnon. Actually, that's Q. That's not K. That's Q.
I go Qdobes. I'm a Qdoba guy over Chipotle.
Oh, way better than Chipotle.
Oh, all day.
So much.
You
better.
and I are in
agreement.
agreement.
We're the only ones.
Well, yeah, we are.
Everyone
so
loves,
in a minority on that.
Close. The chicken, the bowls, the quesadillas, everything.
I have been
Chipotle
blown away.
Stinks.
Yeah, Chipotle is not even close. I would rather skip it altogether
100%.
if you told me Chipotle over.
We're the only people. You're the only person I've ever met that actually.
Qdoba's good right there on City Avenue.
Yeah, it's really
go
good.
bang it out.
Yeah,
boom,
it's my go-to for years.
You the man, Sam OSHTRY. Find him on socials. SOSHTRY. Resident Nick fan, but they won today. And
celebrating
of
a
course,
preseason victory.
The Score. Make sure you check them out there. All right. Once again, I'm off tomorrow, baby. I am off tomorrow. I am golfing. I'm taking a day. We're back on Saturday. We're back on Sunday. We don't stop Monday, Tuesday. We're rolling right through with the Phillies, all that. So this is the place to be. But I'm going to take a day tomorrow and golf at the 1912 Club. Can't wait. Gorgeous day. I'm going to get out there and enjoy it. But Sam, always a pleasure on a Thursday, sir. Great job across the board. Continue to follow you on socials. Read you at The Score. Everybody, good luck in those plays. Coming up next, though, football is king. Nick McClay, one of, if not the hottest handicapper from coast to coast. One half of the electric duo on Football is King is coming your way right here on the other side. Don't touch that dial. Talk to you. Peace.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, crash in North Coventry Town.